Happy Wednesday, everybody. Back in the Collider Live studios. It's Collider Live. That's why it's the show, because it's Collider Live in the studio. Collider Live.
Nailed it.
Welcome. So much thank yous to everyone around. Roxy Stryer, how are you?
Did I throw you off this morning?
No, I'm in a... It's so funny, because when you wake up... You ever notice when you wake up, if you're in a shitty mood, depending on the mood, it turns into like a silly mood? Does that ever happen to you?
Yeah.
It's like sometimes it could stay, but I knew it this morning. I was like, yeah, no, not so much shitty mood, just like bummed for some reason. Mm-hmm. And I said, this is going to go away, and it's going to turn into some silly, stupid mood. I can feel it, and it has. Okay. So,
Why were you bummed?
I don't know. Life, Roxy. Yeah. Hello, Marcus Aurelius Rileyus.
Hi.
How are you? You seem content.
No.
No? What's wrong with
I'm
you?
fucking
Got the shits?
tired. I do not have
dog?
the shits.
What is it? What are you doing?
Dog.
The dog again?
The dog woke me up at 5.
Yeah.
And then and then I'm like, well, I'm up, and I tried to work out, and the dog
Won't let you do it.
no. And this time
Sounds
it was
like you
rough.
have the baby.
Yeah,
It's the same thing.
It's the baby, and doing push-ups, just jumping on me,
It's like
doing
my-
sit-ups, jumping on me, and then finally I'm like, fine, stop, drink coffee, balance my checkbook, and then that little shit falls asleep on the couch.
Right.
Balance.
And I'm like, oh, I'm so glad
We
that
are
you're
in
getting sleep.
2019. You cannot be balancing your checkbook anymore.
Did you really do that?
Why can't I balance my checkbook? What the hell is wrong with that?
Not a big fucking deal.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Wait.
Perfectly.
This is for real? That wasn't just like a Russ and Christmas vacation?
I mean, I balanced my finances.
Oh, okay.
Okay, that's different.
Yeah, I'm not in my checkbook.
Okay.
It's a
Then
saying.
you can.
I guess that I'm not for the snark. I guess today.
Yeah, you're in the
It's
mood.
fine.
Wait.
Yeah, it's here's the thing.
Isn't that the show?
Here's why I'm not going to tell them. Here's why I'm going to tell them not to back off, because I can feel it. I feel the
An
volcano coming.
eruption.
I can change the snark though to something else.
What do you got?
Well, after you introduce our last person, I'll give it to him.
Ah, fuck him.
Okay.
No, he is back. It is Josh. It is the Makuga. It is the Wild Man. What's up, man? How are you?
I've missed you guys the last
Yes.
couple of days for sure.
You missed Dane Cook yesterday.
I know.
Yeah.
Dude, I'm telling you, that picture of you guys, it's weird. It's eerily
See,
familiar.
you-
The picture was more.
Yeah, but you were sitting in the room. You didn't think so.
And not as much in person, but in photographs.
Yeah.
My
The
mother
picture of
watched
me
it.
and him looks like me and you.
My mother.
See, I kind of see it, but I mean, I'm not like
My
that.
mother this morning, I got on the phone with her, and she said, she goes, you know, I heard of yesterday the Dana Cook, and I go, Dane Cook, Mom, yeah, Dane Cook, you know,
Dana White and Dane Cook.
She said Dane Cook. She's like, and then I was looking at the comments, and all the people were saying that you guys look like each other. I don't see it. She got to.
Mothers will never admit
she's
that
like,
their
maybe
sons
it's
look
that's
like
what she said.
anybody
She goes, maybe it's because I'm the mother.
Yeah.
She's like, I don't know. She said the nose is very different and the mouth is very different. So maybe in the eyes, but no, I don't see it. Then she goes. Then she says she goes, and I heard you and Roxy are going to do an interview, so. Very curious what that's going to be all about.
Uh-oh.
So I was like, I don't know if my mother should listen to that one.
Tell her
I don't know
not
if
to.
anybody should listen to that one after the.
Roxy did research.
Well done,
I-
Roxy.
Well, Roxy texted me.
texted
She
him.
goes, "If you have any questions for Christian," and I was like, eh.
He's here. You hear everything.
I've talked
Well,
to you
I said
at
stories
length
or
for
questions.
6 years, 7 years.
I'm sorry. I asked everybody else that I asked.
Oh, no.
I didn't ask Mark because he's gonna be there, but Brett had one. Ken had one, and Ellis had one.
I get it. I know him.
Yeah, I
I'm
think
good.
it's also he's during the period of time that most people know about.
Yeah.
So I think that Brett has a lot of stories from that time period that a lot of people don't know about. All the people you talked to yesterday, time period, I was nervous and kind of sweating because I was like, because Roxy had said, because we're doing, for those who don't know, on Friday we're all going to be gone, so we're going to do a pre-tape, but it's going to be
Well, I'll
basically.
be here, but you didn't want me running the ship alone.
That's true. But it'll be a long kind of one-on-one interview that we were supposed to do that will air on Friday. But Roxy said she wanted to talk to a few people because Roxy just kind of got involved in this with us in like 2014, 2015.
Mm-hmm.
So she doesn't really know a lot about the older.
I've heard.
But I could tell you stories all day long. But it's a matter of talking to some of these people. So I think she talked to without any names, like my old roommate you talked to. An ex-girlfriend.
The old roommate was a effing hoot.
He's great.
Because at first he was like,
that one. We can say his name.
Okay, he was like, I can't tell you anything. None of this stuff can ever make air. And I was like, Christian says you can tell me anything. He's like, well, okay.
Sounds
about right. Yeah, that's
Oh,
Winkleman.
I heard some Vegas
Great.
stories
Oh,
from
man.
him.
Yeah, Winkleman and I. He was kind of my partner in crime for a very long time. I remember when the girlfriend that you like to bring up a lot, who did what?
Cheated on you.
Right.
The first question I asked him about.
Yeah, and the first thing he said, because he moved into that apartment right after she moved out of town, and he's like, "You're not going to care about any of this very soon."
Yeah.
He's like, "I'm moving in."
But you know what he did tell me, and we'll talk more about it
Yeah.
in 1-1, that he was shocked that she did that.
Yeah.
That it wasn't like all
was
the
like the-
signs were there.
No,
He
she was
shocked.
Right, because it didn't seem like she had that in her.
Yeah.
But
That was the premise of Grasping at Straws,
yeah.
sort of. Yeah.
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 And it's funny
Which he
because
worked on you with. I didn't realize that.
she didn't work on
No,
Grasping.
he.
Oh, he did.
Yeah.
Yes. Right, he was a producer on it.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
He also told me, and I'll tease this because I'm definitely asking you about this, told me a story about a recorder.
Oh my God, he told you
Yeah.
that story. That is a very funny story.
Like a do-do-do-do-do.
Nope, like a voice recorder.
Oh, God.
Voice recorder. He could. Yeah, I know where
No,
you're going
yeah.
with this. I know where you're going.
You know
with
that
Get-
scene in Fletch
get
when he's
ready.
like about to talk into it, and the girl is having an orgasm. Just, you're not recording this,
You're
are
not
you?
too. You're not too far
it's
off.
not that
No,
different.
no. Christian's like, no, never.
You're not too far off.
Jesus.
Better than that, though.
That? All right.
Better.
You're not too far off. But there was a lot of wild stories. I'm sure that you got.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So
yeah, he was a great resource.
Yeah, we need to get him back on. He was actually a guest on Toad Hop for. He was the
Winkleman Ken.
Yeah, the Winkleman Ken. He was kind of booking guests for a little bit for us.
We got to get Winkleman on here.
I know. He's a stay home
He's
dad.
busy, yeah.
Yeah.
And he lives in Venice.
Yeah.
Which
Why does he want to
is-
leave?
Which might as well
You're
be
there
Seattle.
every single day,
Yes.
though.
What's that?
In Venice. I feel like you live in Venice,
You
too.
go to Venice a lot?
No, like once a month.
Oh, all right.
No. You're there
Me?
I feel
Yeah.
like you're there like 3 times a week sometimes.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah, we've talked about it on this show.
No, I mean,
Because that's where
Amanda-
your wife's friends live.
Well, yeah, they live there, but I mean, Amanda has to go there, but I don't go there that often. I mean, I might go like once or twice in a month on a weekend, but rarely during the weekday. And like, I mean, if a friend from out of town comes to visit, they usually stay in like a Santa Monica area, and so I'll go like meet them
Yeah,
in Santa
that's
Monica.
fine.
or
I haven't been to
Venice.
Venice in a year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, they all live there. Bonnie lives there.
Yeah.
They all live there.
Yeah.
That's
It's a cool place to live. You're trendy. But this is what I wanted to say. 2 different things. Number one, because Josh, I think people on the show know why you were absent from the show,
Sure,
and if you
okay.
can just give everybody an update.
Yeah,
Yes, please.
it was so my brother had surgery on Friday, and the doctors went in there and apparently got all of the cancer out of there, which is awesome. Yeah, thank you.
Very good.
Yeah.
And you know, it's bittersweet in a sense of like, yeah, it's all out of there, but like the recovery is brutal.
It's a pain in the ass.
It's like, you know, I mean, it was a really rough couple of days
Yeah.
because you don't like to see anybody in pain, obviously anybody, but
Especially
like
your family,
yeah,
your brother.
but, and like being next to your brother and like he's just not himself,
Right.
and you know, the hospitals. I don't like hospitals. I don't think anybody really likes
Right.
hospitals, and you
You
know,
have problems
the
if
whole,
you do.
yeah. And the whole situation was just, you know, again, it's all good, but is a very, very long road ahead of them. So the last couple of days we've just been kind of entertaining the kids and you know, making like nice thing is he came home from the hospital Monday, so he wasn't in the hospital that long, which
Parents
is good.
there?
Mom and Dad were there Friday, Saturday. They left Sunday when we got there.
Right.
Because we now have to go to a wedding in Newport, Rhode Island this weekend, like a family wedding. So it's been kind of like doing the whole thing. And I don't think, you know, the kids don't really get it.
Right.
You know, I think
It's
Olivia
better.
gets it.
It's better,
yeah.
though.
But like, you know, the kids want to jump on them and stuff like
Yeah,
that,
yeah,
and kind of
yeah,
have to
yeah.
manage expectations. And then Amanda and I, you know, entertaining 3 kids for a day, taking them to the movies. We took them to see the Pikachu movie.
And what do you think?
I
Not
fell
for you.
asleep for
Oh,
like
okay.
25 minutes.
Well, you would have done that even.
clearly.
But you,
Come on.
but Cody, he would have done that even if he liked
Cody,
it.
I fell asleep during Endgame.
Yeah.
Roxy was there.
I wasn't even going to rat you out on that
Yeah.
one, though.
No,
You
you
did it yourself.
But
I
of
thought
what
Pikachu was entertaining.
Of what I saw,
Yeah.
I found it very entertaining. I have no idea what's going on, and I don't. Again, the whole Pokemon, I think, like lore
Lost.
and mythology,
Yeah.
totally lost on me.
Did they like it?
Oh, the kids loved it.
Kids loved it,
Yeah,
right. You see, my daughter wants
even
to
the
see it.
3-year-old loved it.
But that's go ahead. What's your second thing?
Well,
you want?
my unrelated question, because I could not believe the comments on this one yesterday.
What happened?
I could not believe that nobody was on Team Riley Roxy.
What?
Finstock yesterday said
Oh,
something
yeah.
that blew my mind. And
Did you hear this?
And
I didn't.
Oh.
But don't tell him where you stand on it, though. Don't tell him where you
She's
stand.
gonna know immediately.
No,
Yeah.
he won't actually.
The comments,
don't tell him.
are all against us.
All
all
right, well,
against
listen.
it.
Don't. Let me
But
set it
you
up.
tell the
Let me
story,
set it up because I don't want to give away your stance on it. So they were talking about Finstock's sister because we were I don't know where
Finstock has a
We were
sister?
talking
Yes.
about Dane Cook hit on her.
That's right.
once.
He said he hit on her, but then he said
I didn't know he had a sister
right.
either.
And he said we were
Known the
somewhere.
guy 5 years.
Yeah.
Known nothing.
But he said we were somewhere, and then someone else hit on her, and then Jason Statham hit on
Was
her.
it St. Nick's?
I don't remember where it was,
Okay.
but anyway, so Roxy says to him, something. Wait, is your sister really hot? And he's like, yeah, she's got a big booty. And then, so how do you feel about the fact that he said his sister has a big booty?
Can I add that he said it in a way that was like
He
very.
said she got a big booty.
Yeah, but it
Was it creepy-ish how he said it?
It just kind of felt out of
I
place.
said, "What is your sister really hot?" And he said, "Yeah, she got a big booty."
Okay. So you got that
It's
Italian. I
more
mean, that
like-
runs in my family too. The
so how
Italian women
and
have big booties
said,
sometimes.
actually, that's the way he's describing her. No big deal.
Yeah, I think I'm probably with you on that one.
Yeah.
Wow.
These two lost it. Yeah.
I can't.
She was like in tears laughing though. It was,
It just rubbed me the
Yeah.
wrong way because I
Jared
have a
too.
sister.
Jared was on your side too.
Maybe
Yeah.
I don't have a sister, so I'm kind of like, if somebody asks me, oh, like is so and so hot in your family? I'm like, yeah, she's hot, she's
Right.
curvy.
What if they asked about your mom?
That's different.
It's
It's
not-
not.
my
It's
mom.
not
But
different.
I
It's not different.
think if Finstock
It's a
would
little
have
different from mom.
Finstock would have said, oh yeah, she got a big fat ass.
Yeah,
Then I'm
then-
going, well, wait a minute.
Everybody in the comments was like, "You and Riley are so over exaggerating." He
Kind of agree.
He
Yeah, I
just
think
said
so,
this,
too.
and he was like, "You're making it seem weird." Oh my god! If I ever heard my brother say that about me, I can't even.
At the end, the
Here's
best
the
was-
point.
Yeah.
That's the point.
Yeah.
Because if I
Okay.
said my
Yeah,
sister
yeah,
had
yeah. I
a
see
big
it.
booty,
Yeah.
and my
Right in the
sister
middle.
heard that, she would go, "What the
I also think
hell
I
are
also,
you
I
saying?"
also think it's a different, very different
Tom.
people.
He is a
Tom.
different
Tom.
person.
Yeah, and
I'm
it's-
not telling him not to say
Because
it.
I don't think he's saying it. He wasn't
I
saying
just
it in
wanna
a
give
way
him
like,
shit.
oh yeah, my sister. He's not like, I'm not gonna say it, but he's not.
It sounded like that in
Is he-
my
do you
ears.
think that he's sexualizing his sister in that?
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's not
it-
that he's sexualizing her. It's that he's seen her. Like, I don't know what my brother's booty is because I've never spent
Thought
time
about it, right.
observing my brother's
But
booty.
if Tom is listen, we all know this. Tom lives on a different
Planet.
I know.
stratosphere,
Plane of
whatever.
existence.
different plane.
But I mean, if it's a big booty, people are going to notice.
and he does too. And but it was really funny. He was so confused because when we went off the air, he's like, that was all right? And I was like, yeah, man, it was funny. He's like, was that weird? And I'm like, I don't think so. Roxy and Riley started. And he's like, she got a big booty.
We had a caller.
Oh, hey, look at what it turned into.
We had a caller call in, and I still 5 minutes later couldn't
Thinking
move
about
on.
that
I
booty.
couldn't move on. And today, next day, I've slept. I've heard crazy stories about Christian. What am I still thinking about? Tom,
booty.
Tom
Okay,
saying,
let me. Can I put a hypothetical out there? Again, I
the
don't
new
have a
Zoobly Zoo.
sister, and maybe I live on like a different thing of how I would describe it. So let's just say one of your brother's friends was like, "Oh, was your sister hot?" And Jet was like, "Yeah, she's sexy."
"Oh no."
See, okay, all right.
See, that to me, that's a little.
Okay.
Here's what I was
I'm just
thinking.
I'm giving up certain
Here's
words.
what I would be
okay.
okay with. Here's what I would be okay with. Yeah, guys seem to find her good looking.
Okay,
Right.
I'll give you
Like,
that.
talk about how the other people,
Right.
because he had just said DMX.
What if he said people like her big fat
Jason
ass?
Statham.
Booty, show me the booty, give me the booty, I want the booty.
What is this gem? It's
amazing.
I've never
so
heard
good.
of it.
It's
Is this no rhyme, no reason?
No, I don't know what that. What is that?
Show me the booty, give me the booty.
Is this-
I was just gonna say. I feel like he just Googled it and he just found.
Is this
an
Larry the
absolute gem.
Cable Guy and the guy Ron White?
I hope not.
And I will say,
Yes.
and I'm so sorry because I do love Alex, I do, but Cody, when Alex is not here, Cody is on fire. Like,
Because his attention
Oh,
is
he's on
more because
fire.
he's bored out of his skull. He's got to figure a way to occupy himself.
oh, it's so
Yeah.
good. He comes up with gems like that.
He really does it.
Give me the booty, I want the booty, back up the
I'm a big fan of that.
This song,
I'm a
this
fan.
Is this popular? This song? Because if not, we should make it
Yeah,
popular.
how many views?
Did you dye your hair?
19,000 views.
19,000 views is not a lot.
Not a lot.
We need it to have more.
19,000.
Maybe I just haven't seen you without a hat on for a long
For a
time.
long time.
Yeah.
Why does it look darker? to you?
Looks darker, but maybe it's dormant.
Yeah,
From
maybe.
always- yeah.
Light
Once the
too.
summer
So I
starts.
didn't realize that was as much of a thing as it is. A lot of guys.
Hats. Oh.
Hats. Am I right?
Hey, is your sister hot? She wears hats.
I mean, you want to wear a hat? put a hat on, run into the middle of the road, take off the hat, and do a fucking dance. You guys know what movie that's from?
No.
Me either.
At least I was gonna say at least it's a movie. It's not.
It's nonsense. I was doing Bob Dylan lyrics the other day from a
Oh yeah, it was pretty funny.
Yeah.
It was pretty
What
good.
just happened?
It's nothing because he knows what he's saying.
Yeah.
And if you really look, but you can. Damn, he's a better wins in a bangs, in a sand and a weem. Roxy in his dry, making phone calls. What you doing, yeah, man? Booties in bed, booty.
This is what we did in college when
Yeah.
we made fun of my friend was a huge Dylan fan, and he took it a little too far. And then one night we were like, "What are you listening?" And we did that.
What does taking it too far mean?
He always listens
Saying
to Bob
his
Dylan.
sister- has a big fat
Always
ass.
listening to
too
it,
far.
singing it, quoting it. You know, life lessons from the lyrics. He's like, "Yeah, but you know about Dylan, right?" I'm like, "I know. Shut up. I don't want to hear it anymore."
I'm so upset that Josh was not on Team Roxy Riley.
Again, because I don't have a sister, and maybe because I'm always just like, I mean,
I think this is why I want Alex to be here right now because I'd like Alex to play the clip.
yeah.
Yeah, because we can find the clip.
Does Roka have a sister? He does, right?
I believe he does.
Is he out there?
I don't know.
Yeah, but Roka's
Roka-
captain. He's the social
Yeah.
justice warrior, so he's always out there, like trying to,
So he'll be on our team.
Yeah,
I
probably.
don't know. I don't know. I think he'd probably shock you. Open the door for a second.
Perry has
See
a
who's out there.
sister.
Perry does
She doesn't
have,
have a
but I don't.
brother.
Perry's gonna be offended.
Yeah,
by that.
totally.
Let's open that up and let's see.
John?
Is Roka out
Hey,
there?
Roka.
Come here for
I
a
need
second.
your
I got a
help,
question.
John.
I got a question for you. I'll pose it the same way.
Okay, pose it the same.
I'll pose it the same way.
Real quick.
Right, here.
Wait, John,
sis.
just to clarify, you do have a sister, right? I think I remember you telling me that.
Yeah,
Okay.
Linda, yeah.
Okay. All right. So we'll grab the mic.
yeah.
There. So yesterday on the show, I want to see where you stand on this. Want to see?
Please, she'll kill me if I get it. in trouble.
No.
No, this has nothing to do with her.
There's
I
no
just
other
wanted,
person like
I
this
just
here.
wanted
I don't-
the
direction, I
mindset of
Yes.
somebody who has a sister.
Yes, and I don't want anybody. You showed your cards to him. Please don't do it this time. Okay, so yesterday on the show, Dagnino was on here and he was talking about back in the
Tom
day.
Dagnino.
Yes, that Dane Cook had hit on his sister, and then he talked about we were
Sure
at
it
this.
wasn't you?
Definitely wasn't me. And then we were at this party. Thank you so much. We were at this party. And
Jason Statham also
hit on her a couple, and I said to him, I go, so a lot of people are Roxy actually said, a lot of people are hitting on your sister. Like, is she really hot? And he was like, nah, she got a big booty, right? And so there were some people in here that thought that was weird, and there are others that said, you just tell your sister had a big ass. Where do you stand on that?
I would never say that, and B, I'd be okay if high-end successful people were hitting on my sister. I'd be okay with that. I'm not that kind of Latino guy.
Yeah.
But I would never comment on my sister's assets. That's inappropriate.
So you stand with Riley
Thank
and
you.
Roxy.
Yeah,
Thank
it's
you.
inappropriate.
It's a weird thing to say,
Yeah.
right?
Would you like your sister going, oh, yeah, I've seen him come out of the shower. He's hung like a horse. You don't want that, right? We're
Good
talking
point.
about your brother.
He makes a
It
good point.
means
just
you
saying.
thought about it in a way that's a little awkward.
So I feel like the way to have answered that question is guys seem to like her.
Yes.
Right? That's
Right.
okay.
But what if? And I said, what if he said, guys seem to think she got a big fat ass. It's the same thing.
Yeah, right? Okay,
Right.
sure.
Right.
No,
the more you even say that, I'm like, nope.
it's weird,
That
right?
does
It's
not
weird.
work.
Hold on. Let me on the flip side of things, right? Every time Roxy talks about her sister, like she's the most gorgeous person in the world. I
Yeah,
love her.
it's
She's so hot.
It's a girl. It's my
Right?
sister,
Okay,
though. It's
I get it.
different.
But if somebody was like, "Hey, what's your brother look like?" He's like, "He's got a nice body. He's hot."
No, I would never. I would never.
Okay, all right.
I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know why it's different, but it just
Okay.
feels
Well,
different.
Gorgeous is like an aspect of looking at someone going, I appreciate them as a whole.
Yeah.
Saying someone has a hot body is you specifying a physical trait of theirs that you find somewhat attractive in other people.
If he
So I
had
think there's a
said, she's a good-looking girl,
Right.
that would have been
That's
different.
fine.
That's
Or she's beautiful. That's cool too.
Yeah,
I would
oh my
say
God, my
beautiful's
sister's
good.
beautiful, but
Yeah, let me just.
she's got a big booty.
Can I get, trail back just a second here? If somebody said to me, what's your sister like? I'd be like, she's pretty hot.
Right.
Like, would that be?
She's cute.
She's hot. She's cute.
Hot is
Guys
fine.
think she's hot.
Hot
Yeah.
is a statement.
Yeah, but you
Hot is a
should,
statement.
guys think she's hot as opposed
I
to you
still
saying.
think I think hot's weird. If my
Right.
brother was like, "Yeah, my sister's hot," I would be like,
I wouldn't say like that. I'd be like, guys find her like, yeah, she's pretty hot.
Guys find her hot is different than she's hot.
and got a big fat ass.
And she- Thank you. Thank you.
Now, how does Jamie Lannister reply to this? Which is, it's just her hot. I'd fuck her.
Or no. I fucked her.
All right. Thank you, John.
She's good in bed.
Yeah, that's
When we
right.
brought him in, he was like, "What is
happening.
Discuss this with single mom if you're talking about your mom.
That's what I said. They said it's
that's
different.
a whole
Yeah,
other ball.
it's another
Your
ballgame.
mom's very attractive.
Oh, look at you. No, there you go.
Easy now.
He's not even allowed to say that.
I
Yes.
do have the actual quote here.
Oh yeah, you
Tom.
do. All right, here we go.
Seconds.
Here's the quote. Oh.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, when I was performing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And DMX was there too, who also was hitting on my sister.
Do you have a hot sister?
Yeah, she's got a
pretty
big
cute.
booty.
Yeah.
But
Cody, one more time.
Yep.
sister at Dublin's the one.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, when I was performing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And DMX was there too, who also was hitting on my sister.
Do you have a hot sister?
Yeah, she's got a
pretty
big
cute.
booty.
Okay, the way he says it is pretty innocent.
Yeah, she got a big booty.
It's pretty innocent.
Yeah, she got a big booty.
But here's the thing. Okay, hold on.
So
Look,
good.
I'm just saying.
So good.
If she's got a big, listen, that is like her main asset, and we all know
Literally.
the stereotypes of certain people loving big asses, whatever.
Big booty.
Big booty. Sorry. So he's got, and he said he's like, you got a big booty. Okay, It is innocently said. I get that it sort of sounds creepy, but at the same time, okay, listen. People have big asses, and if I don't want to say it on air, but I have a family member has a big ass, and her whole family's like, she got a big ass.
You know
Like,
what?
it's a thing.
Here's
It's
what
a thing.
here's what I would like to do, and I need you to text Tom.
She's
I
pretty
want to
big
get Tom's sister on the phone.
I want
and
to
ask how she feels about the fact that her
Yes.
brother thinks
That
she
is
has a big
the
booty.
funniest
Yeah.
thing
Like,
of all
would
time.
it, would it,
Back up the booty. I need the booty. I like
This song is really
It's the
good.
best.
fire.
I love this song.
Would it make you guys feel different if it was like, yeah, she's got big tits?
Yeah, that's not appropriate.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's
okay,
not
so-
appropriate.
Really? So
Yeah.
tits.
Huge jugs or giant hooters. is fine.
People like her boobs. You know,
Yeah.
again, people like for that one, but you know,
Yeah.
she had a big
But
ass.
you think
I
she's
th-
got
I
a big
think it would've
booty
been less-
is better than she's got big tits?
I think it would have been less of
Can
a
we
thing.
get Jet on the phone and see
Oh,
what he
no,
thinks of you?
he would literally
grossing
be like,
out.
ew,
Yeah.
ew,
I think it'd be
ew.
less of a
Yeah.
thing if you went, yeah, she got a big ass.
Yeah.
I think that to me.
That's different. That's
He
kind of
didn't-
insulting almost. She got a big booty. It's like it's like almost a compliment.
people like that big fat ass. Is that
That's
better?
people seem to enjoy her butthole.
I'm
Like,
not
that's-
ready.
I'm gonna
I am not ready to
don't know
move
what that
forward.
means, but
I don't have anything more to say, but I'm not ready to move on.
right because it's just. Did you ask him if we can get his sister on the phone?
Yeah, I did.
Fantastic. I would love that.
Mark Riley, producer of the year.
I would love
And I
it.
could
It's
see
really
when he
good.
left, he like in his poor brain, he's
He
just
didn't
like,
know
did
what was
I do
going on.
something bad?
He had no idea. It was
Did
amazing.
I?
It was
Okay,
absolutely amazing.
so I had a Roxy moment on Monday.
You got lost.
Yes.
You were a
sort
star.
Of. It was a cross. It was a synergy of getting lost and,
And?
taking care of children.
Oh.
Okay.
Oh, no.
So my
you drop
niece
somebody?
and, no, my niece and nephew, Livia's 9, I think, and Luke is 6. So they both go to the same school. Okay, and it's walking distance from the house. So I walked them to school on Monday morning, and they were like, "This is where you pick us up." And then they kept walking, and then they went to a different classroom. And Amanda was not. She was with Jenny. Jenny is. The littlest one is a absolute terror in the
Yeah.
cutest effing way. Like
Right.
she just gets her way. She's so adorable. So
That's why she gets her way.
yes.
Right.
So later in the afternoon, I had to go pick up the kids. Amanda was with Jenny, and so I went to the school, and I'm just like in a schoolyard, and there's other parents around, so it's not like I'm just some creepy man standing in the schoolyard. And someone comes up to me and she goes, "Are you Ben's brother?" And I said, "Yeah." She goes, "Are you lost?" And I said, "Very lost." She goes, "Come with me." Walked me like through the school to pick up the kids.
Right.
I had that moment, and they were the only 2 kids left at their like respective classrooms, and they
You
were like,
left them.
"Where have you been?" I'm
Yeah.
like, "I didn't know."
I'm
where they go."
not going to give you a tough one. It's not like you'd been doing that every day.
But did you have that moment of panic? Because that's what happened
Little
to
bit of
me.
panic.
Oh,
Yeah,
it's that moment of, and it's irrational, but like, what happens if I never find them?
Right.
Like,
Yeah, so this is why it's not close to Roxy because Roxy comes here every day.
She does.
You had to do this. You had to do this once.
Once.
and that's jarring.
Yeah.
Like to be like, hey, you need to find your way through the school. Like I know the way around my daughter's school, but I do it every day.
Yeah.
First day, I'm like, where is
know
everything?
where I know my way around in this office.
Well, now you do.
It's one
It's a
big
big
room.
square.
But I feel like if I shut the lights off, you'd be lost.
I know where the front door is.
Yeah.
Although I did find a new area of the office I had never seen
And there's
before.
the other door.
Right.
There's literally one door
Just saying.
to get in. And
Yeah,
out.
I found a new thing about this office this past week.
Which is?
It was an open door. It went up like a garage.
The thing over there.
I was like, they built a new room.
That was shocking. That was shocking to me too because it's never open.
Yeah, it's never been open.
open.
Okay.
I knew that. I mean, it's clear because there's a stupid chain there, but anyway.
Yeah.
I thought it was like a cool design, warehouse coolness. I didn't think it actually opened.
No. I guess I could play this on my phone more so. Oh, the booty, I love the booty.
This song needs to be a #1 hit.
It's really amazing.
It's kind of catchy.
The fact that it hasn't been is kind of annoying.
Teased our guest.
I was just about to. And I wanted to let everybody know because
I'm excited. I haven't seen her, and her publicist reached out to us, and I was like, "Do you know that we?"
I don't think she knows. Well, it's funny.
Really?
We didn't book her through the publicist. We booked her through herself.
Yeah, I texted her.
Yeah, Tiffany Smith is coming in, and Tiffany, and it was because someone had sent out this morning. I think it was on the Kaleido Live Facebook group. I was really proud of the movie threesome show that we did. Her and I on Fandango. It was
I enjoyed a lot of that.
It was a really good show.
Good.
My personal opinion it was marketed terribly, and no one knew it was there except this audience, and that was the audience that kept it alive for so long. Right. And it was a really fun show. And Tiff and I hosted that thing for over a year, I think. And she was
cool
obviously
guests.
We had great guests, and she was on the show the way, and we'll talk about it, I guess, when she's on how we kind of first found her. She was the third host for Schmoes Know. It was Catherine Reitman, Katie Sackhoff, and then Tiffany took over for Katie, which is a daunting thing, and she just crushed it. And how we met and all.
Tiffany was before Alicia.
Yeah, Tiffany. Alicia took over for Tiffany.
Tiffany was on for a year plus.
Almost 2. Yeah, she was during all the Toad Hops. And a lot of AfterBuzz.
Yeah.
And then
It's interesting because I love Tiffany, but I also remember she was a little more reserved on the mic sometimes because she knew all of she is an actress.
Yeah.
She wanted to keep a little bit of personal life to herself.
I think that was more
She's a
so
giggler,
towards
too.
that time.
Oh, really?
Because you go back to Toad Hop, she was very. I mean, she played into it more than anything. Like her
Really?
and Tom, yeah, she played into it a lot.
Oh, interesting.
And then she always was interested in acting, and she was good. And I remember her doing a couple things, and she's just such a hard worker. And I remember she's like, I'm going to pursue acting. And the next thing you know, she's like, it's not easy for a lot of people to transition. And not only does she just get a role, she has like a starring role in Supernatural. And then you hear.
She was doing that CW Seed thing as a host,
Yeah.
and then she transitioned in CW acting. I think she was in a couple of different CW things that I saw.
Yeah, she's good with the casting. I mean, who doesn't love Tiffany? And so she gets in there, and then we hear that and this is also because of the connections, very surreal for me in general that she's cast as Meghan Markle, who this whole story in general has just been so bizarre to me. But then she gets cast, furthering the whole how hilarious it is. And I just watched a trailer for it this morning. She looks great in it.
She looks amazing.
She looks so good in it.
And it's a massive role.
Yeah, it really is.
It's massive.
So excited. When did she come in? What time did she come in?
11.
11 o'clock. That's good. Is she on for the full hour?
Yep.
Oh, good.
Oh, so she can talk Star Wars stuff with us.
We're going to
too.
talk a bunch of shit with her for sure. Yeah, she was one of the original members on Jedi Council, which was cool. So
Kind of perfect how
Tiffany's
it worked
coming
out.
in at 11 o'clock, but I wanted to play something. It's a little longer, but it's worth it. It's so this is from ESPN over the weekend. Sorry, I'll play it in a second. Booker T, the great Booker T, on his show on ESPN.
Smart guy, good choices.
Well, you're gonna hear a little bit of his choices. This is gonna be it's a little bit of a longer clip, so I'm just gonna play it for you guys because it was it's a really good piece to talk about what's going on in Houston.
Hey man, we was talking about the Smowdown going down this weekend. Movie trivia, guys. Smowdown going down live at Booker T World Gym Arena. The Smowdown, guys, is something that's very, very unique. If you guys are off in the movie trivia, if you guys in the brain that you just want to explore and get out and say, man, I want to be a part of this. You know what I mean? I got to go down here and see if I might win something. You know, this might be my way out. You know what I'm saying? You never know. You know, seriously. So, guys, come down and check out the Smowdown. Right now, we are almost at capacity. Yeah. So, you better get your tickets, man. Go to realityofwrestling.com or
you can go to the schmodownlive.com as well.
Yeah.
They're meet and greet tickets with Booker T. He's going to be there. You're going to see 2 matches. There's going to be 2 former friends going at it. Two former brothers going at it in the main event. It's like Civil War.
Now rivals.
Now rivals.
Yeah, bitter enemies.
Bitter enemies.
Yeah.
They used to go everywhere together. It was like you and your brother Stevie Ray.
We the same way.
Same way.
All right, so there's a little bit. I'm going to post
So is
the
it on
whole
ESPN on the radio
It was
show?
on ESPN on their radio show. I'm going to post the whole interview on the Schmodown channel, so you guys can check that out over there. But they really go into. They talk about the stipulations that Booker T threw down, banning managers and friends from the ring, just mano a mano, and they even tease it. Booker T's going to put his stupid. Yeah, well, and he also says that he's gonna make. He also said that ring, it's not Schmodown law, it's Booker T law. So the actual movie trivia itself it will take place, but anything else in there, there can be no suspensions. There can be nothing that takes place in that ring that I have any jurisdiction over because it's a wrestling ring. So they all agreed to it. They'll sign the waivers. So it's out of my hands at this point.
I like it. Still bummed I don't get to have Booker T clothesline me, but
Yeah. Well,
I'm sure I'll get clothesline on a
One
wedding
day.
dance floor at some point.
One
give
day.
it time.
Yeah.
Give it time. There's a lot of news going on. I saw tons and tons of news out there, especially stuff that we missed. Yeah. What do you
Okay,
got?
real quick, before we go into news, I'm sorry. I just wanted to, because I wasn't on the shows the last couple of days. First, great work in that article on Playboy. That was
Thank
really,
you so
really
much.
cool.
Really
It was
good.
really,
Thanks,
really
Josh.
good.
Thank you.
For speaking.
We're going.
No,
Are we going
no.
GOT now?
No.
Okay.
I just said thank you for speaking truth in
Thank
an
you so
article
much.
because I've been so bummed that I haven't been on Collider Live the 2 Mondays after the 2 biggest episodes,
Yeah.
and I just
Right.
I wanted to talk Game of Thrones with you people, with somebody. So I talked to my dad yesterday for 30 minutes, and Amanda watches it, so we've been talking about it. But I just wanted to say congratulations. That was
Josh, thank you so
it was
much.
Yeah, it was
cool.
great.
Really
Thanks.
good.
Yeah.
Are you
Really
going to be
good.
on Monday for after the finale?
Yeah, I'll be
Okay,
here.
cool.
Fine.
The only thing
Yeah.
about
Unless my
that,
flights get all messed up.
yeah, because the one thing I do want to say about that, and then we can move on because we shouldn't. I don't want to spend too much time on this again because we've done for the last couple of days. For those people, and I think that because both sides have been
It was the loudest yawn
ever.
I am so sorry.
But both sides have been really like two rabid pit bulls.
Yes.
and there's no doubt about it. And I think that they're both, whether you feel slighted that your opinions weren't being taken seriously, because I want to make it very clear, and I think Roxy and I said it a little bit as much too, but to say it again to those, and I know that some people just want to be mad, and that's fine, but other people maybe want to hear this. If you felt that your opinion was discredited because you said you don't think the writing is good on the show, that was not the intent. The intent is that it's a matter of how people express their opinions and how people say certain things, and how it's more about, it's not having legit criticisms. You are as a viewer are absolutely privileged to that. That's what we get by the fact that you're giving people your viewership. You're allowed to have a criticism. You're allowed to say, I don't like the way this is going. I don't enjoy this the way that I used to. That is your right. It's entitlement that is more what we were speaking about. And maybe we didn't speak about, maybe we weren't elaborate enough the other day because we were coming off of passion too. And if that is the case, and if you felt slighted, then I apologize to you as far as that way goes. But I am not apologizing to those who feel entitled, that scream and yell. That was where we were coming from as far as the anger out there. Now, I'm not telling you that if you're a big fan of Game of Thrones from all these seasons and this season you don't like the way it's going, that your opinion is invalid, to suck it up and like it. That is irresponsible on my end, if that's where you thought I was coming from. So again, if you felt that way, I apologize. But what I will tell you is I will never apologize for those people screaming and yelling with pitchforks to people who are trying to create, because it is their right to try to do this. They're not slighting you to slight you. They're making their material, but it is your right. It is absolutely your right to not like it. And that's all we'll say about that. So let's move on.
It was badass.
Well, yeah, you loved it.
That was awesome.
All right, let's
the episode.
yeah,
thank you.
all right, let's move on. Let's move on.
All right, we have a big article in Deadline. James Gunn has finally broke his silence. He did a very long interview.
All right, look at this.
Yeah, I can kind of paraphrase because there are
Please.
big quotes. But
Did he say anything about a big booty?
It's Tom's sister.
that was part of all of this.
How
She
many
had a
booties
big
will be in-
booty, and that's why I got Suicide Squad. Yeah,
Is there a character in Suicide Squad called The Booty?
The booty.
Polka Dot Man, King
is a-
Shark,
who
Big
sings this,
Booty,
Cody?
Haley Quinn.
Oh,
Big
wait,
Booty.
Big Booty.
I guess it's Tim Wilson.
Tim
and
Wilson.
He has passed away.
Oh,
We're
damn
playing
it.
it in his honor.
Gone too soon.
Damn it, Tim
Was he
Wilson.
like a country star somewhere, or was just an online guy?
Yeah, country star.
Can somebody just? That's a good answer.
I'm looking him up. Tim Wilson.
I
killing me.
love
You're
that
killing
song.
me today.
Such a good song.
You're killing me
I
today
want it.
with this wire. You're like
This
ripping
wire-
my ear holes.
You know what? Here's the bottom line. The studio is a joke.
It is. You're correct. Listen, I'm not saying it's your fault or
Yeah.
my fault. I'm just saying as soon as I let go of the wire,
It's not convenient.
Yeah.
It's not convenient. And this table's going to break someone's kneecap.
And these mics are gonna actually one day make me pass out.
Does it stink again? Brutal.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, well.
I was drinking my tea and so close to the mic that I was like, "What's wrong with my tea?
This tea
Yeah.
stinks.
Stinks.
It's making my tea taste bad."
All right, James Gunn, paraphrase.
James Gunn paraphrased that it was
Go.
the worst day of his life, and part of it was the best day of his life because of the outpouring of support. So that made him happy. He had a lot of anger at himself, and he decided to take all of it. He's decided that there was nobody else to blame, not the person that threw the tweets, attacked him, not Disney, not Bob Iger, not Kevin Feige, not Marvel, anything like that. And so he just focused on himself, and he kind of just let it be and just, I have to accept this and look at Disney as I look at my ex-wife. We're going to try to get along. I'm going to learn from that experience in my life, and everything's going to be great. Then he gets Suicide Squad, and he's like, I'm so excited for this. I was able to just pour everything into the script. It was one of the best script writing experiences because of everything maybe that was behind me. And then he got that call. And he goes back in and he's like, oh, this is just the reconciliation of like, hey, we're cool, no worries. And then he was offered and he cried. And he basically sat there and went, what? And,
Right. So
and
it was,
was
much,
so
it was much of
broken
a
up.
shock to him.
Yeah.
I wonder, you know what I'm saying? We'll never find this out. We'll never find this out. My guess is that if there was one person who was the big stickler on James Gunn, it was Alan Horn. That to me is, if he's Alan Horn, and this is not a shot at Alan Horn. This is just
who's Alan Horn again? Is he a
Alan Horn is
composer?
no. Alan Horn is
He
the
came over from Warner Brothers.
he was
right?
he was the president of Warner Brothers, and he moved over, and he runs, I forget what his official title is. It's basically him and Iger. Who Iger's the main guy, and then there's Horn. Alan Horn is like the typical like grandpa, like don't curse around grandpa. Don't he's banned smoking from movies, which I don't necessarily.
Probably loves those Georgia, Alabama laws.
No. I don't. I think he's a left wing guy. He's just a typical like
on the sex strike, you mean? He's
yeah.
on it.
No. I don't think I'm not as far as politics go. I just think he's he's conservative that particular way with just old school rules, and he's you would don't say the S word in front of grandpa, right? Like that type of thing. Right. He's just. And which is not a bad thing. Values, a lot of values. Yeah. So I think that when all that kind of stuff came out, from what I hear, he doesn't like Matthew Vaughn because of the stuff that Matthew Vaughn's done in his movies, and that was a reason why Matthew Vaughn had a problem getting some movies done with Disney. Again, rumors and speculation, nothing confirmed. But I bet you that he was putting his foot down with James Gunn for a while, and then after all this kind of pressure of no, there's a lot of pushback. I think he had to crack, and Iger was probably the one like, Alan, we got to bend on this one. We got to get him back.
I don't know. Maybe.
It's all speculation.
What I'm wondering about is in that analogy that you just gave, Riley, that he gave about the ex-wife. What are they now then? So are they trying to get married again, or are they working to get? Or are they raising a kid together as ex-parents?
Do you remember
good call?
Do you remember the Parks and Recreation episodes where Ron Swanson would go back to Megan Mullally and she was his crazy ex-wife?
Yes, the best.
It kind of feels like that.
Yeah. Aren't they really married?
Yeah, they're really
they're
married.
really
But on
married.
the show, she was this insane person, and he was in love with her, and they would
She
go on
was,
these
like,
love
batshit,
benders,
yeah.
and then it would just go away kind of a situation.
Right.
I just whenever I think of ex-wives, I think of those two on there. So
Yeah.
I don't think it's like that, but
No, I just wonder in his analogy, what is the current status of their relationship? Is it all good and they were on a month break and now they're back together and in love?
Let's look at how long it took. There was 6 months, 7 months, 8 months. So they were a trial separation.
Yeah.
They were cordial, and then they reconciled.
Yeah,
But are they
got back
okay that he
together.
has a mistress now?
Right.
You're crushing it, Roxy.
Yeah, it's
I
true.
love that.
her
It's
name is
all right.
Veronica. We have a great relationship.
We have an
And I'm
open
not-
relationship.
Open.
And I'm not going to stop seeing Veronica.
Yeah, we have an open-
I will try this again with you, but I
know we're
rest.
reconciling, but we already booked a trip to Cabo.
Yeah.
So
I
I'm
don't
going to
think-
go.
I don't think they give a shit about that. I think that it's on the other side of it. I probably, to where Warner Brothers is probably like, well, that sucks, but we get it. And either way, you're still going to get press off of both of it, because every time you talk about that he's coming back to Guardians, what gets mentioned? The Suicide Squad. So that's big publicity for them every single time you read an article about him or talking about, or something like Roxy just said, the fact that he's got another mistress. What's the mistress? Suicide Squad. People are talking about it, so maybe they're not even that bummed about it. I think that the fans sometimes make it a bigger deal than it really is, because as long as he gets to make the movie and it doesn't hurt the production on either way,
right?
Who gives a shit? It's just two different movies.
I completely agree.
Yeah.
I just I'm wondering.
Yeah.
What if he crushes the Suicide Squad, goes and does Guardians of the Galaxy, going to open before Volume 3, it blows up, and everybody's like, James Gunn, I can't wait
What's
for
his next
Guardians
one?
of the Galaxy.
Yeah, that's
It's
why I don't
right
think
there.
anyone
And then
cares.
Warner Brothers is like, great, we're going to do a sequel. You're coming back after Guardians Volume 3. I mean, it's like everybody
Sure,
wins, I feel like.
Unless his contract, that's why a lot of times these movies lock people up right away. You signed on for the sequel. Like Peyton Reed he did Ant-Man. He was signed on for Ant-Man.
Yeah,
too.
but I don't know if you can sign James Gunn to that off the bat. Maybe, but he might have said no.
Right.
I'll do one
I'm gonna do
movie
one-
because he has
right.
more clout.
And those movies the DC movies are getting back to the swing of things, and it's not like a connected universe like this one is, towards like no, we need you to come back because we're serialized. We showed you all these other movies that have worked before, and Marvel has that to do. So you might be right.
Yeah, and after everything that happened with Snyder, I know that
Jeff Snyder.
no, Zach. They only had Patty Jenkins for one movie. That's why it took so long for us to hear that she was coming out on Wonder Woman 2, because they had to renegotiate. I believe that Juan was the same situation.
Yeah.
That he was signed on to one. I'm sure he will be doing the second one, but I think that they are more focused on these one hits.
Speaking of James Wan,
Yes.
he's producing Mortal Kombat, right?
He sure is.
That to me is very cool, because I like James Wan a lot. I mean, as a human being, as a director, producing, as far as success rate goes, phenomenal. I haven't liked a lot of the stuff he's produced, things kind of low rent stuff, but some stuff. I mean, everything else that he touches has been great as far as directing goes, right? Mm-hmm. Him producing Mortal Kombat is very
And there's the
interesting
news.
to me.
Good segue. He's producing, and they announced that they are going to begin filming in Australia later this year.
That's awesome.
So we are officially getting Mortal Kombat kind of reboot. It's happening.
Oh, we need a reboot. We definitely need a reboot.
Listen, we did Mortal Kombat on Guilty Movie Pleasures back in the day,
Yeah.
right? And I will. There are points of it that are guilty movie pleasure, but I think it's seriously the most underrated video game movie of all time.
Yeah, the first one,
Totally.
sure. Yeah, the first
It's
one's
really good.
It probably ranks as the best, because all the other movies have been piss.
I
do you like?
I like Street Fighter.
Oh my god,
I like
Movies
that
are rotten.
movie.
Get out.
I am still mad at myself that we didn't ask Jean-Claude Van Damme anything about Street Fighter. But I don't think he would have answered anything about
It
it
didn't
anyway.
matter what you asked him. He
It
was
really
going to talk
didn't
about
matter.
whatever.
Want some cookies?
Yes, I really want him back.
I really want some cookies.
He really wants cookies. I would
I
love
don't think he ever left. He's still in there
Wow.
eating cookies.
Well,
Doesn't
that's
that cookie
Richard
sound
Dreyfuss.
so good right now? Like a
Want some
big,
cookies?
hot chocolate chip cookie with salt on top. Oh,
Damn.
Why not?
All right.
It's
Kind of going
I'm with
specific.
you.
Specific. Yeah, you want to
Really
leave?
going there.
kinda.
You can get out here and go have a
You want to
cookie.
go get some
I
cookies?
said yes.
Yeah. What else is so? And there was other shit going down, right? What else is going down?
With
in general,
Mortal Kombat?
No, Mortal Kombat's going. There's no casting yet or anything.
No
to it.
casting.
Yeah, it's fine.
New director. You know, he was a commercial director, and
the He-Man thing. So there was.
I saw that. Yeah.
So the
Well,
one
what
of the
is there news?
Yeah. So the reason this came out is someone posted this. I didn't see it on the guy's
didn't see
Twitter.
it.
I didn't see it on his Twitter feed. He might have deleted it. But the writer/director, it was writer. Is it writer director or just writer? Riley, do you remember?
Who was I'm not aware of it, so I got to go look it up.
Let me find it. I'm trying to find it on the
Adam Nee.
Yeah, Adam Nee. But here he is. Okay, so this is the tweet that was. Oh, you know what? This is from. That's why I wasn't there.
Booty song in my head.
Me too. And honestly, I wanted to update you guys. I found he was a stand-up comedian.
Oh,
He was a
was,
comedian
okay.
and country star.
Oh, he was country. You're right.
Yeah, Tim Wilson, and the song is actually called Booty Man.
Oh, nice.
So
Okay.
he's a booty man, and he is an American stand-up comedian and country music artist whose act combines stand-up comedy and original songs.
Well, good.
like
It's
that.
fantastic. Rest in peace, Mr. Wilson. All right, so Adam Nee actually tweeted this out in 2018. It was last year.
Oh,
so
that's why I didn't know.
And it was a bunch of the old school comic books. This is why I actually was a little bit excited for this. The old school comic books, some of the 2002 stuff. And there's a concerning thing inside of this tweet, but it's also, they said they read all of these source material things, the stuff that we were hoping to happen, that people were going to use. And he said, we read all of these, and then 6 hours later, the script was finished. Now, the question is, hopefully they'd already started the script, and then they added new things. And then it's basically, we finished the script in 6 hours, we got issues. But
I don't even think I could type that fast.
right. But if you already had like a solid script, and then you had all this stuff, got into it, said, let's add this, let's put some new things in here, some characters we didn't think about, let's put some of the lore in there, and then 6 hours you were done, then I'm excited about it. So I tweeted at Adam Nee today about coming on the show. I would really like to talk to him about vision, kind of tone we're going to get here. So we haven't done this in a long time, since the days of Tweet a Celebrity.
There it is.
We haven't done Tweet a Celebrity. So back in the day on Toad Hop, we did, and this actually worked for Freddie Prinze Jr. too. It's how we formed a relationship with him. So what I would love for the Collider audience to do, please, because it's worked before, and hopefully it worked now. And I don't normally like to do this these days, 'cause I don't want to like harass people, but I just think this is something to maybe get them to notice the show. At Adam Nee, so at Adam ADAM, capital NEE, Adam Nee.
Interesting last name.
Yeah, let him know.
I thought you were mispronouncing something.
Yeah, let him know that Collider Live would love to have him as a guest to talk about Masters of the Universe, and you want to see him on, because I would think an interview with myself, Riley, and him to talk about this project, and his brother too.
I have no questions.
How about
You have
that
no-
guy?
well,
How about the
I
guy
don't need you.
that got lit up by the dragon from the Golden Company, and then he got he looks kind of He-Manish.
Which one was that?
The guy in the Golden Company.
Can't get it out of my head. So
See,
Back up
that's
the
a good song,
It's a good song.
as opposed to
Dumb.
the
Well, Zoobly Zoo.
Oh God!
What? He couldn't find it. He couldn't find it.
Give me the
He couldn't
booty,
find
I
it.
want the
He couldn't
booty.
find it.
Give me,
It's not on. He couldn't find it.
give me the booty, I want the booty.
Put on the
Back up
headphones.
the boogie,
Put on the
down
headphones.
the
Come on,
boogie.
be
We need,
professional. will
we
you?
need.
You're not professional
Can
with
that be
that?
our new theme song?
What?
It's
The booty song.
It's just like unbelievably good.
It's a
so
great song.
I cannot wait to leave those.
Cody,
I knew that was going to happen.
Cody, we are-
I didn't even hear it.
I feel like it's almost like Professor X and Jean Grey at this point. Am I wrong?
Yeah.
You must really miss Alex, don't you?
Not as much. No, I love Alex.
I miss him.
I love Alex.
I miss him
I
too.
love Alex. Alex.
I
is
miss the booty. Give me the booty.
No more booty. Thank you. There's some other things, and we'll talk. I guess we'll wait for the big story for.
We'll wait for the big
Tiffany.
story, but there's a few small things
Yeah,
that we can mention.
sure.
Because I want everybody's take on this. Honey,
It
I
sucks.
Shrunk the Kid reboot,
Okay.
and it's called Shrunk, and it's going to star Josh Gad as the grown-up son of Rick Moranis'
Oh, so
character.
it's a-
I
kind of a
love
continuation.
this. I love this.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, is there an embargo on that dog movie?
I don't
Dog's Journey.
Yeah, I saw it last night.
know. And let me
let me
just say,
look.
this
Yeah,
is an exclusive
I
from.
cried
Why'd
for
you
the
pick
trailer
that one?
of
I
Dog.
picked the
Oh,
other
I
one.
can't. I don't know how I'm going to watch that thing, but I want to see it. But this is an exclusive from our friends at Slash Film. They got this, and I thought that's very interesting.
cool.
Not that they got it, but that was like, whoa.
We talked
They're
about Josh
continuing
Gad.
on, and
Josh
Josh
Gad
Gad.
sometimes to me, like with the right role, he's amazing. Other roles sometimes, it's not that he's bad in them. I just find he's always good. He's always good. I just don't happen to like a lot of his characters sometimes.
Right.
And they're like that movie you said the other day, the
Crazy, or sorry,
sex. What's it called? The one with
I don't
Love
know.
and Other Drugs.
Love and Other Drugs.
Thank you.
So that
I don't know.
Yeah,
I
that
have
movie.
batter in my
like
brain.
I couldn't stand his character. I thought he was great in it. I couldn't stand his character. There's
he
another.
grew on me upon
What's
this
the one
third watch.
with Kevin Hart? Is that like the best man or something?
Is he in that?
Doesn't he?
Isn't that the Golden Tuxedo? Or
Oh yeah, that was good. That I know it's a
The
tuxedo
one with
movie.
Kevin Hart.
I like that
where
movie.
he's like he plays his best man.
And he
right?
actually was, and Josh Gad was good in that movie.
Yeah,
Really good in that
yeah.
movie. And that's an
Was it-
underrated
oh, yeah,
movie.
that's right.
It's an
What's it
underrated
called?
comedy.
Totally underrated movie.
Yes.
You didn't say in the email. I'm looking on Rotten Tomatoes if there's reviews.
Are there reviews?
I'm looking right now. It's got a 67% on
Okay.
Rotten Tomatoes, and
I got to see the first one then because
yes, people are reviewing it.
because I enjoyed this movie.
You did?
Yeah, I
Good.
enjoyed it.
It's the sequel, right?
It's a sequel, and it is one of those things that it's pretty. It's cliched, and some of the stuff that happens in the movie, you're like, well, that's pretty convenient. But it's. I read the reviews for the first one, and people were really just fucking laying into the first one. And I'm
What
like,
was the first one?
Dog's Purpose.
A Dog's Purpose, but it's like
Didn't they have that
how many-
controversy?
It was a controversy.
Is that was
yeah,
the
because
movie?
it was
Okay.
because the dog was put in the tank
or something. Okay.
Yeah, that's why.
But you can the story of from what I guess the first one carrying over to this one is that the dog keeps dying, has a long life, but keeps dying, comes back and picks up things from his last life to help out. I guess in the first movie it was all about Dennis Quaid, him kind of growing up.
This movie's gonna make me cry.
Opening scene, the opening scene took me like I was like, man, but it's really, and Josh Gad is the voice of the dog. I don't know if he's the voice. Is he the voice of the dog in the first one too?
Yes.
Okay. And I gotta watch the first one because Bailey is does he call him big
Sweet
Boss
Boy.
Dog.
Boss Dog.
Boss Dog. He calls
Yes.
him Boss, and every time he calls him Boss Dog, I'm like, oh, so good. But he does it, and he does it throughout the entire movie, and it's a warm. You feel warm during the whole entire thing. I really enjoyed watching it. The main girl, you guys all watch Glow, right? The what's America? What's the
Betty
one?
Gilpin?
Is that her, the blonde?
Yeah.
So she plays the mother. And she's good in it, but it's just such a it's a very cliche, stereotypical kind of drunk mom not paying attention to the daughter type thing. And again, there are a lot of characters that are just very one note, and I didn't care.
Sure.
Because it just
The
wanted
dog.
the dog is so good.
So the movie
dog-
was called The Wedding Ringer, the one with
Yes,
Kevin Hart,
that's
which
it.
is
Wedding
a
Ringer.
very
It's
underrated
an underrated
movie.
comedy, but
so we're
Dog's Journey is this one.
So we're in the theater for Pikachu,
Yeah,
right? And
yeah.
we're with the three kids.
Pika.
And we're separated by the kids. So I've got Olivia and Luke. And Amanda's on the other side. And we're watching A Dog's Journey. And I start crying.
To the trailer.
To the trailer, yeah. And I start crying. And I look to Amanda, and she's crying. And Olivia looks up and she goes, "Why are you crying? What's wrong?" And I was like, "It's the dog."
Yeah, I teared up. I teared up a handful of times in that movie last night. The opening scene. Let me ask you about the ending of the first movie. You
Yes.
know it pretty
Oh, of
well.
course, yeah.
So does he end with him on the farm?
Yeah.
Okay, it starts from the farm.
Oh,
so
man.
like yeah,
And the ending, they're like best.
oh dude, it is. It's great.
Okay, I don't know if I can see this because
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm just tired
You'll
because
be-
I'm tearing up right now.
You will be
just understanding
You
it
will
in
be
my
a
head.
mess because I started
So-
tearing because it's so the dog is so sweet
So
throughout
you're,
the whole
so you're
entire time.
telling me that Leia right now is Cal? Return.
Well, I don't know.
That's what
I'll
the
take
movie
it.
Well,
tells
I don't
you.
know. This dog had a particular kind of special power because because Dennis Quaid knows it, and like, even he's when he sees the dog kind of later on in life, he looks, he goes. He's like, "That you, big dog?
Yeah, boss dog.
Boss dog. Is that you, boss dog?" and he's just like because the dog has a different purpose this time.
Yeah.
So that's you chose not to see because you hate dogs. What did you say?
I don't hate dogs. They're fine.
Yeah, you just
It's
don't.
fine.
You just
the
not
whole thing.
right.
is
You just
fine.
don't like dogs. What
No,
was,
they're fine.
You're just not a big fan of dogs.
No, they're fine.
It's fine. It's got a big booty.
fine.
What's what
I
did you
saw The Sun Is Also a Star,
say? Bless you.
which I don't know if I can talk about it yet.
Who's in it? Who's in it?
Yara from Blackish, and then the main Reggie from his name's
my
Charles
God.
from Riverdale.
I
Good?
You saw the billboard for it?
No, I saw for whatever reason they played the trailer for that movie before Pikachu, and I was
Really?
like, why are they playing this?
Is it
And
a kids movie?
It's
No.
a young adult, right?
I would say like the same audience as Love, Simon or
Okay.
Fault in Our Stars.
Yeah.
Same tone.
Yeah, it's like the premise is that they have one day to fall in love because her family's getting deported.
Right. Okay.
And I watched the trailer and I thought to myself, this looks like the worst. But I'm not because again.
Didn't see it.
If you watch that kind of, let me see if I can talk
All
about
right.
it.
Fine. Why don't you check that?
It felt like I was watching the trailer for Itself is Life.
Right.
The one that
Life Itself, the
Life
best movie of all
Itself.
time.
Itself is life. I like that better.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
I just wrote a new movie called Itself
Yeah, it looks
is
like
Life.
you could talk about The Sun Is Also Stars of this morning. It was if you didn't like the trailer, you will not like the movie.
Okay.
It's exactly what you think
Did
it
you
is.
like
That's
it?
what I thought,
Yeah, I'm a sucker for that.
You're a sucker for it.
But I wouldn't recommend it necessarily.
Okay.
But I thought that it was so sweet. Like the people behind me, I won't say who, but critics that you guys know were like,
Start with a B?
No, actually not. I think he might have liked it.
Okay.
They just were, the whole time, like, really.
Gas?
No, just like.
Was it just cheesy dialogue? Because the trailer
so
was
cheesy.
okay.
Dialogue so cheesy. So cheesy. Let me see what it has
dialogue
on
in the
Rotten
trailer
Tomatoes.
was brutal.
It was really stiff.
Okay.
Cool.
Like the two of them together.
They didn't seem like they had any chemistry in the trailer.
It was a little stiff, but if I love that kind of thing.
Yeah. Cool. So you do like stiff things?
Oh, all right. All right, we're going to go to break.
Some low-hanging fruit.
That was low-hanging fruit.
What do you expect? Come on.
I know. Welcome back, Matuga.
And like
The fruit's here. Chop it up.
Yep. Roxy's texting during the show.
Well,
so we
no,
gotta
I'm
break.
looking,
joking
I'm
about
if it's on
something
Rotten
stiff
Tomatoes.
over
What are
here.
you talking about?
Take it
Okay, it
easy.
has a 42% on Rotten Tomatoes, so
Sounds
I'm
right.
not
Yikes.
shocked.
Okay, look, we're going to go to break. When we get
You know what
back,
doesn't?
Tiffany Marie Smith will be in.
Magneto's booty.
Yeah, Tiffany Marie Smith will be in studio, and we're going to be talking to her about her new movie, Becoming Royal, and a bunch of other things. Obviously, the Star Wars show. Bob Iger says there's another TV show, Star Wars, coming out, and a bunch of movies in development after the break.
Show me the booty. Give me the booty. I want the booty.
Hey guys, Riley here, and let me tell you about Rule of Two. You looking for a Star Wars fix? Well, Rule of Two is that show. It drops in on Collider Video's main YouTube channel, as well as on Podcast One's Jedi Council feed. So go over there, subscribe, share it with your friends. It's hosted by myself and Mark Fernandez. We talk everything in the Star Wars universe with a lot of deep dives and a lot of conversations that go all in. You know what to do. Subscribe, join us there, and rise.
Hey everyone, John Roca here, the host of Collider Mailbag. A new episode drops every Saturday and Sunday in your face and in your ears, answering the questions from you fans about the world of entertainment, film, and television. Me and great guests from our sphere do the best to answer your questions from Twitter, from Instagram, and of course, email as well. Once again, it's every Saturday and Sunday on the Collider video feed, and also you can listen to us on podcast, on the Movie Talk podcast feed, every Saturday and Sunday.
Hey guys, it's Dennis here, one of the hosts of Thrones Talk, our weekly Game of Thrones review show that happens live right after the episodes drop on Sunday night. So check us out. We talk about all the cool things that happen on Game of Thrones that night and what we think is going to happen in the future. You can find it on our YouTube channel, youtube.com/Collider Videos, or you can find it on the podcast feed, both on the Collider TV Talk podcast feed and the Collider Factory podcast feed.
Hi, I'm Coy Jandro, host of Collider Heroes, and I'm here to tell you we've got 20-minute episodes coming at you on Collider Video, on the YouTube, as you've always loved it. Plus, now we've got hour-long podcasts dropping every Thursday, so make sure to subscribe to the podcast because it's going to get even more sweaty on the podcast. Plus, every week, we're going to try to get some very special guest interviews, all of the people that help shape these movies and TV shows you love. So, video, podcast, interviews, all coming at you. Be sure to subscribe. Thanks so much, guys. Stay sweaty.
Hey guys, Perry Nemrov here to let you know that The Witching Hour is all over Collider right now. You can listen to that Horrorville podcast with myself, with Haley Fouch. We talk about witchiness, we talk about slashers, we talk about space horror, you name it, all on that show on the Collider Factory feed. We also have clips on the Collider Podcast YouTube channel, and on top of that, you can find an article all about Witching Hour every single Tuesday on Collider.com. Check it out, get scared. Hopefully you survive the Witching Hour.
What's up, Collider fans? Ryan Satin here from ProWrestlingSheet.com, where you can find the top stories throughout the week in the world of professional wrestling. If you're a wrestling fan like myself, then you'd be doing yourself a disservice by not checking out all the shows we do every week on YouTube.com/C/Wrestling Sheet. In particular, on Wednesdays, we've got a SmackDown recap show hosted by John Roca and myself, where we pick apart and talk about every little thing that happened on the Blue Brand. So do yourself a favor and go subscribe at youtube.com/C/Wrestling Sheet.
All right. And we're back here on Collider Live. Hey guys, we only have one working bathroom now in the Collider offices, so at that hour break, most of us run to the bathroom knowing that fully well that we can't wait another hour to pee, which is where Christian is right now. We're waiting on our guest, Tiffany Smith, so it's just the Roxy and Josh hour
I was not
right now.
fast enough today, Josh.
No?
I was not fast enough today.
Fast enough for the bathroom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the thing. If I don't sprint, then I don't get to pee.
That's true.
I'm also still eating my fig bar.
That's good,
Because
Mike.
Professionalism, as you said.
Professionalism. Just a heads up for all of the fans out there. Ken Knapsack's book drops today. Today, Star Wars. His Star Wars book. You guys
Give him
can
the booty.
Yeah.
give him the booty. Check it out on Amazon and whatnot.
Why we love
And-
Star Wars.
Yes.
Yeah, we got to start
Stories.
playing different videos during the breaks. Doesn't give people enough time to piss.
I didn't get to pee.
This 3-minute break's got to stop.
Is it? What do we need? 5 minutes?
Yeah, we always had 5, but we
that
cut
what
it
we
because
did?
we cut new commercials, and they don't have enough commercials now. So it's like, so we just got to figure
I'll do a
out.
commercial.
We just got to play. If we have to play the same song over and over again, fine. Yeah, whatever it is. Just we can't. We can't.
why
do,
are you
Cody,
so
we
mad?
Can't, I'm not mad. We can't do 3-minute breaks anymore.
Oh, I know. I'm fully aware.
All right.
I said that as they were given to me.
Okay.
We're working on it.
Yeah, working on it. It's just because we.
Cody, I want you to know you're doing an amazing job.
Yeah, of
Hey,
course
thanks,
he is.
Roxy.
You're
Yeah,
welcome.
because
Cody hooked it
it's-
up for me yesterday so hard.
What do you
How?
do?
All right.
Trying. You're pulling it up. Now you're pulling my foot with you. Stupid studio.
Can't we just like glue this to the top of the table? or
I
something?
wanna. Well, I'll tell you what. If you gave me a bat and you said you can only smash. Hi.
Is she here? She's
Oh my God! Wow.
You look great. My hands are cold, so I'm like sucking.
Are we supposed to? Are we supposed to bow to you?
Smells great. Yeah, we
I know.
should.
It would actually be a
Princess.
Oh, a curtsy.
Curtsy.
Yeah,
You smell
excuse me,
wonderful.
Christian,
No one
Are you gonna curtsy?
I just did.
Let me see your curtsy.
You missed it.
I missed it.
You missed it.
Here.
I'm curtsying.
Tiffany
I have
Smith.
the largest water bottle. Let's just put
That
that
is
out there.
that. You're not lying. That's not an exaggeration. That puts Ace to shame.
Yeah, what is the deal?
How much you're supposed to drink in a day.
Good
and
Lord.
I've been doing hot yoga a lot, so I'm
Wow.
trying to make
What's
sure.
the difference between hot yoga? What's hot yoga and
It's
cold
in
yoga?
the heat.
Oh,
It's
okay.
heated yoga.
Yeah.
Oh, I see.
Well, or just regular yoga or hot yoga.
Well, how the hell would I know that? I don't know anything.
It's an uncomfortable amount of sweat
Yeah.
that pours from my body when
Right.
doing hot yoga.
No, it's actually better because it loosens you up more so you can get into it.
Okay.
Then you
true.
slip on the mat.
I'm bored with all of this because I'll tell you why. Joining us, it's been such a long time.
I know.
She is my former co-host on Movie Threesome. She is this former co-host on Schmoes. She is a incredible actress. So excited for you, Miss Meghan Markle herself, Tiffany Smith, in the new movie. This is nuts.
It's crazy.
This is crazy.
It's really bizarre.
How funny is it that like we were like one day I'm going to have you on as a guest and you're going to be in the green room and we're going to talk to you about this movie because
You know me well enough to know I will never be in the green room because I'm like, I literally walked in 30 seconds
no,
before I was supposed to.
There's no chance. There's no chance. From my
I don't
time
show
at
up
Jedi
anywhere
Council.
early.
Your publicist reached out to me and was like, "Hey, we'd love to get Tiffany Smith on the show."
Because here's what happened. Because so there was lists going around of like places that wanted to do press for it, and I was like, these were ones I wanted to do, and she's like, okay, we'll handle it. And so that was where she reached out, and I was like, I ended up texting Christian. I was just like, hey, let's figure this out because it's literally like this week it's starting to like yesterday I had 4 or 5 phone interviews, and then next week there's like a half junket day and upfronts, and then we fly to New York because we're doing the Today Show.
Where did you shoot this? Where did you shoot
Yeah.
this movie?
We shot in Vancouver.
Okay, cool.
So it was really cool because when I did Supernatural last year or 2 years ago.
Yeah.
It was in Vancouver, and so I got to be there for 2 weeks as an actor.
They shoot
I say
everything
actor
over
like
there.
this.
Yeah.
But I've
Why
been
do
up
you say
there.
actor like this?
Because
you're so used to doing
I'm still
that.
getting
Yeah.
used to it. Like I'm still really getting used to being like, oh, like I'm an actor. I'm not trying
Right.
to be an actor now. I am a working
I
actor.
want to hear all about this because this is fascinating to me. The first part
You
of
want
it.
to talk about the making out? I know you do, Christian.
You know, I didn't see the trailer today.
It's a
I
making out.
saw the trailer today, and I did at the end. I said, "You get your filthy mouth off, my friend." But I did. You were incredible in the trailer. You were so good in it, and you know, anytime it's like when you go to watch if you watch a friend do stand up or you watch him do acting, you're like, oh my God, please be good, please be good.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm just like crushing it. And I'm just watching that trailer. You were so good because you know, and I've said this and I told you how bizarre it is for me that you're playing Meghan Markle, and the fact that what happened to Meghan Markle happened, it was crazy to me. But then you get cast. When this comes across, like your agent or manager says, hey, listen, because you guys you're very similar looking. Is that one of the reasons that we got to submit Tiffany? How does this all come to be?
Yeah, I mean, there was a movie that happened last year, and I think they had submitted me, but they wanted like Canadian actors. I don't remember what exactly happened, but I didn't go in for the first movie. And then
A Meghan Markle movie that happened?
So Lifetime has A Royal Romance is the first one, like where they fall in love, and this is the continuation.
So you're
But
you're playing it as if it's still part of the whole
yeah,
thing.
because the other two
right.
actors were both working, so they couldn't do this one.
Okay.
Which I like really wanted to talk to Parisa, who played Megan in the last film. So we connected before I went up to shoot, and then we had lunch afterwards because I'm very much, I want to really focus on like women don't have to be in competition with each other. Like if she has advice, if I can have a mentor in any way, I totally will take that. And she was lovely and awesome. So I had just come, it was like around the holidays. I had just gotten back from New Year's, and Chad, actually, who I know you guys had on the show.
Yesterday, yeah, or 2 days ago.
Yeah, he messaged me and he was like, I know they probably have already submitted you for this, but if they haven't, you've got to get on it. So my manager submitted me, and immediately casting office was like, yes, we want to have her come in. So I went in, and it was funny because I walked into the room and she was like, just so you know, we like lost all the tapes from this morning. And I was like, haha, funny. I was like, I'm so going to say the actor thing. I was like, it's because you just needed to see me today.
Right, yeah.
So we did the read, and I felt really confident in the audition, and we talked a lot afterwards because I think like a big part of this character for me, which was so awesome, is just kind of
You just watched
realizing.
Suits.
I only started watching Suits after I got the call back, because Christian was like, do you want to chat? Because I like know her and her ex-husband, and I was like, no, I don't, because I really wanted to.
She's like, I'd rather not. I'd rather just kind of go on my own. I was like, absolutely.
So you knew she was going in for the.
No.
This was after I booked it.
Yeah, after she got it. After it was announced,
Yeah.
she got it. And I texted her immediately and congratulated her, and then said, if there's any particular, and it wasn't for public thing, it was just for her, obviously. And then she was like, no, I'd rather not. I just want to kind of go in knowing what I know and do it my way. And from what it looks like you did, and you knocked it out of the park, kid. I can't wait.
Thanks.
I can't wait.
Yeah, so we did the first audition, got the call back, and I want to say probably like the director was there and producers were there for the callback, which was really nice to get to work with the director and see what it would be like on set. And then probably like a week later, I was packing and heading up to Vancouver for 5 weeks.
Well, because we were supposed to go to lunch.
Yeah.
Well, this is like the first. I mean, you had a big arc on Supernatural. I remember that.
Like one episode, but it was
a big
very
arc.
impactful.
But
last season, I want to come back.
But
so
what I'm
bad.
saying is, a lot of people when you go from I'm going to be I'm a host and I'm going to go start doing acting, and then people it doesn't happen the way it's happened to you. It just doesn't. Like people will go and they'll do like little guest star roles, have like a scene, and then they build their ways up. You had like a full episode was all about you. You're like a main character in it, and then you get this movie. This is a starring role. This is a big starring role. What's it like on set? Because I know how humble you are in general as a person. Like so it's got to be weird that it's just like, you're like the star of the
Not
movie.
enough burping anymore because you're all healthy
weird.
now.
Yeah.
Sometimes, because there were days where I was like, I'm gonna eat all the freaking donuts because I've been on set for so long and I need a sugar rush right now. It was weird because I didn't know, for people who are actors or not, don't know, but it's like the person who's the lead is number one on the call sheet.
Right.
And I had no idea. I hadn't even met the guy playing Harry before I got to set. And so I went to set thinking like, oh, it's Harry and Megan. It's not Megan and Harry. He's probably going to be number one. So we did the table read and it was like, Tiffany Smith, number one. And I was like, oh, I'm number one on the call sheet.
Yeah.
And so it was kind of what I think a lot of people like don't know. And you guys all know this because you know me well, but it's like, it seems like it happened fast, but I've been working for a really long time, taking classes and auditioning a lot. And so it was, yes, it doesn't often happen where you book a lead role in a film like this as quickly as I did, but it wasn't like, oh, someone saw me and was like, she looks like her. Let's cast her. It was definitely a lot of work leading up to it. So for sure there were nerves coming onto set because I was like, we got there. And I literally called all my friends who are actors or who have been number one just to be like, hey, do you have any recommendations, any tips, anything that you can share with me to kind of, step into this being as prepared as I possibly can be? Chad was like, make sure you don't overbook yourself because I like to see people and do things. And so he was like, you're going to need your solo time.
That's what he said on Monday.
Yeah. And then some other friends were just like, just be open to asking questions and letting people know the stuff that you don't know because you know, I haven't been on a ton of sets, so I don't really know when they're shouting out lenses. Like at the time, I was like, I don't know what does that mean.
Right.
So every chance that I got, I kind of went up to people and had quiet time. I was just like, hey, this is my first like lead, so anything that you guys can share with me that will help, let me know. I'm totally open.
And I'm sure
I
they
wanna
were
learn and
because
grow.
it was like, is this because I'm sure that people who didn't know you would be like, is this girl really think she's a fucking princess? Like you can see the crew, and then when
That's
you
hysterical.
meet right, and then you meet Tiffany, and you're like, nah, she's cool. And because you've always been like that. When we did movie threesome, you're always chatting up the crew, and you and I would talk about all the time how important it is to treat the crew with respect because they're the ones that are taking care of you the whole time. You should take care of them.
It's a team, like really.
Yeah.
I mean, there were days where, like, I think a lot of people don't experience until you're on set that much is like I would literally wake up at 5, sometimes earlier, to start the day, and then your hair, makeup, and then for me, because I'm in almost every scene, you work until like 11 sometimes.
Right.
And they're working longer.
Then you're home till 12. And you're not home till like 12. And then you're supposed to go to sleep, but then you're wired from the day. You have to shower or try and get to the gym for just a second to like burn off whatever excitement I have from the day. And then you do it again the next day.
Right.
So you're like, if you can't trust and have a good relationship with the crew too, like those days are even harder.
You're shooting yourself in the foot.
Yeah.
What did you learn about Meghan Markle throughout this process?
So for me, like I watched a lot of YouTube videos, which sounds silly, but like
Not really.
those were the ones where it was like, you got any moments of her being, you know, natural, who she
Candid.
is. Yeah, more candid. And the movie deals with so much of like, yes, there's stuff in it that everyone's seen in the news and whatever, but a lot of it is behind closed doors. And so it's like, we're never really going to know what happened in those moments. So all I could kind of do was take stuff that I learned about her, whether it's, you know, just certain like motions and things that she does. Like she looks up through her eyelashes a lot and she tucks her hair a lot. So those little things I started practicing while I was at home. And I worked with a really awesome acting coach who I love. And she gave me a really good piece of advice. She was just like, do all your research before. And then when you get there, let it go. Because you've done the work before and it will just naturally come out of you instead of being on set and feeling like, oh, she would do this, move her body like this kind of thing. It's like I did enough that it really did feel like you guys know, when you're watching so much of a show, it starts to just like come out of you.
Right.
So I did a lot of that prep before. But I think one of the big things for me was kind of, you know, I'm multi-ethnic. And my parents went through what they went through when they got married here in the 70s in Los Angeles. And so it was really cool because I had really interesting conversations with my parents based off of like stuff that came up from the movie and seeing Meghan and Harry's relationship where it's like they dealt with the same things.
Right.
And, you know, what I love is that both of them really have just been like, no, we choose each other. We've chosen each other. This is what we're doing. And everybody can deal with it. Be happy for us or don't, but we're happy.
Yeah, because you forget how much pressure there was on her, too, because, they still don't know. They think that she may or may not be the first black royal of all time. There's still...
She's definitely the first official public,
right.
Like, she knoes she is.
Right.
There's
It was like
some
1600,
old,
1600 or something.
Yeah.
There was a woman who had may have had...
She might have been a little mixed.
Yeah, so, but Meghan Markle, like you said, it's put out, it's out there, and that's a lot of pressure in general, even in today.
Yeah.
You know? And so
First time kissing a ginger?
Huh?
First time kissing a ginger?
Yeah. It was my first time kissing a ginger.
Nice. How'd that go for
you? It was like, you know me.
I know.
Like, I literally, I get to set and I'm like, if you could, I don't
How
know
nervous
what they
were you
could
that
have
day?
thrown at me on this project that was like everything I did was new. Like there was, you know, we had a stunt sequence scene, we had a sex scene, we had like a wedding. There's so much stuff and just even heightened emotions because you guys being around me, it's like rarely do I really get super emotional or like cry or you know, that's not. If I do get that way, it's not public.
This is hysterical. I don't know. This is great.
And so it was like, you know, because I was like, it was a full day where we were shooting the scenes with like some really emotional stuff. And so that was like, it was a learning curve for me because I was like, the first day we had to do some emotional stuff. And I went from being like, yeah, I can totally chat with everybody. I'm like, it's fine, cool, let's shoot it. And then the director was like, no, we like really, really want you to cry here. I was like, oh, okay. And it's also just hard because I was just learning things as an actor where I'm like, I have to actually ask for like a quieter set, or like because of my personality, I really do like talking to people. So on one of the other days, I really was just like, hey, while we're shooting this, like, would you guys, I'm not gonna like talk with people during this. I'm gonna kind of stay to myself and look at the floor more. And, you know, Charlie and I had some time to like really connect, and he was wonderful and like helping to keep me in the right headspace. But like that kind of stuff is a really big challenge for me, and it was awesome because one of my girlfriends told me after I finished, she's like, I've realized you're an adrenaline junkie. And I was like, what do you mean? Yeah. She's like, you like taking something that you think might be impossible and then going in, and 2 days in you're like, I love this, I could totally do it for forever.
Yeah, I can see that.
And that's what this really was for me, where it's like I've
challenges every day.
Yeah, it was, and literally I felt like, you know, like when babies are learning everything and their eyes are just like,
oh yeah.
It felt like every second I was learning like 1,000 things and being like, okay, now
this
I've
is a
got
good
this,
crash course also, because it's funny because and I think sometimes Lifetime movies, maybe they get a bad stigma or something too, but not this one. But not this one though, because of because that story in general it's the biggest story of the year last year, right? And and the first one did crushed in the ratings, and now because you notice, because how big it is, there's so much press on it. But I think another thing about doing a movie like this, because you're going to get a lot of eyes on you and ears for sure, but it's also because it's not like a huge budget movie outside, that you can learn a lot on that set to take it in, because I'm sure it's been pretty crazy since you got this, the amount of calls, more auditions, like things of that nature.
Yeah, I mean, it was. I think we were still shooting. And the like first photos, the first look came out, and that's something that's so weird about this project too, which is awesome because I learned so much so fast. Again, we shot in a month, and then within 2 weeks of me being home, the teaser was out, which doesn't normally happen with movies. It's usually like 6 months to a year. So we were on set. We had people doing set visits, and this was also really funny because since I did stuff with DC All Access and DC Daily and doing the set visits for CW and DC shows, the camera guy and crew for the EPK, the people that were coming to interview me, I had worked with as a host.
Oh, that's cool.
So I was like, this is so surreal and bizarre, but also great because it kind of felt super safe and comfortable for me.
Did you know any of the press people that came for the set visit and stuff like that?
Yeah, I mean, that was the crazy part too. And as soon as I got back, the Shazam premiere was probably like 2 or 3 days after I got back from Vancouver. And my publicist, I still even, like, it's like the actor thing, like my publicist. So she was like, I'm just not sure how many people are going to want to chat, you know, because this is Shazam, and I don't know if it's the right crowd for becoming royal, but we'll have you do the photo op, and then we'll walk down and see. It literally, it was so, like, I can't even describe what it felt like, really, because it was just, like, so comforting, you know, to get to walk down the carpet, and people did want to talk. One, because people are really excited about Harry and Meghan, but two, it was a lot of people that I've worked with as a presenter.
That's a magic trick that you have that a lot of actors don't have. Like that you've been on both sides of it, and a lot of people don't try to and don't cross over. You know, there's a lot of different roles. I think people have tried to do it, but the fact that you've done it now twice, it's pretty exciting.
Are they going to do more of these?
What?
Are they going to do more of these things? Are you going to be
I don't
Meghan
know.
again?
I don't know.
See how it does.
There's like pregnancy now, right?
I know. That's them.
They named it Archie. I like that.
I don't know. We'll have to wait and see.
Were you nervous at any point being so open with the crew about not having all the knowledge that you were going to put off a different vibe and people would take advantage of that? Did you question yourself at any point, like, okay, maybe I shouldn't let them know? I don't know what's going on here.
I think it was one of those things where it was like I chose my moments, where it wasn't like I walked onto set and I was like, hey everyone, I've never done this before.
right.
Because I
twittering.
yeah. So it was moments where, you know, the DP might come over and say something to me, and I was like, hey, just so you know, like, I would love any other tips that you could give me, because I want to make your job easier, and I want to make all of us look as great as we possibly can. The very first day we shot some stuff. It was a car sequence, and the camera guy and sound guy were in the car with me, and just very close, because it's the shot that's in the trailer where it's like I'm looking in the mirror. And that was our first thing that we shot. And so I looked over at him and I was like, hey, so like any advice that you can give me, I'm totally open. He was like, okay. And the crazy part too is a lot of them had worked on the last movie. So they had that experience. And even some of our crew had worked on Suits. So that was funny.
That's cool.
Where it was just like...
Did they try to give you tips?
Everybody was great because it was stuff where it was like the camera guys, I would ask them and they were like, do you want us to say the lenses or do you want me to show you?
I meant tips about her. Because you worked on Suits.
No, I said the same thing.
Same
I was
thing.
like, I did my research that I could do. And
Good, because she's a bitch.
It's also just like I read the script and I knew where we were trying to go with the story, and I know the things about her that I really fully respect and appreciate and wanted to put at the forefront of this movie. Because the thing that I think stayed with me the whole time is that I'm like I love acting and I love film and TV because it's an escape for people. It brings joy. It uplifts you. Even if it's something that's heavier, it still is an escape and makes you feel something.
Right.
And so for me, doing this movie, I was like, I want people to watch it and feel uplifted and, feel that joy and stuff. So I think that made it a little bit easier being able to walk on set and say that kind of stuff. And also just developing we all really trusted each other, which going back to kind of the awkwardness of, having a romantic lead in a movie where our director was awesome because we got to set and Charlie and I had a friend who lived in Vancouver and he was like, I have tickets to a Canucks game if you want them. And I was like, yes, that's a great way for us to hang out and get to know each other because we didn't even have a chemistry test.
Oh.
So we got there, we did that. And then the director was like, he did 2 sessions with us just reading the script, just the 3 of us. So we got to talk a lot about what we wanted to focus on or things that we didn't understand or get or felt weird or things we wanted to shift and work on and stuff. And the writer, Scarlett, is also wonderful because she was super open to feedback and to things that we had to say or add in or kind of shift around. And the director, Manoj, who did the last film, he also he's directed a lot of the series The Royals in England. So he was like, I want to do an intimacy exercise with you guys because he'd taken acting classes because he was like, as a director, I want to be able to really talk to my actors. And it was so awesome because it's one of those things where it's like the exercise that we did was just kind of sitting and looking at each other and sharing stuff and then asking, can I put my hand on your leg? Can I put my hand on your face? Can I lean my head against your cheek? And then we told each other stories where it was like, what's your most embarrassing moment? Or when was the first time you fell in love? And it immediately made it safe and easy to be in each other's
trust
close space. And it made it even easier, too, because the director was there. It wasn't like, I was like, hey, Charlie, can we, sit in the hotel room and,
touch each other?
Yeah.
Well, even though obviously with that, and that's very important because if that doesn't work, then the whole movie doesn't work. But the other thing that I noticed inside the trailer and stuff that always felt dirty to me during this whole thing that was going on with her was the stuff that was going on with her parents. The stuff that they kind of gave to the media. And there's a snippet inside of that trailer that it looks like that's what you're having that conversation with your dad. And you have such an amazing relationship with your parents. So to watch you having this kind of I guess the blowout with your father and the TV father, it was like, man, that must have been kind of a very tough but still emotionally and challenging day.
Yeah, it was. I mean, I had a migraine the next day because also things that you learn doing your first movie where you have to cry a lot.
Right.
That you probably shouldn't go full out on every single day.
Right.
Maybe ask them, hey, is it my coverage? But I literally was just I just wanted to stay in it as much as I could. So that was a big lesson for me. But it definitely was hard. And that was one of the scenes that we talked about a lot because I was like, I don't want to just do drama for the sake of drama, but I'm like, I get that you want to have those peak moments in the movie. So I just really wanted to make sure that I had real reasons or real things that felt true to me to have that emotional break kind of thing because I am really close with my dad. So it was thinking about what that would feel like to kind of feel betrayed or feel left out in the cold, where
Rick would never do it. Rick would never do it.
He would not.
Never.
But he definitely wouldn't. No. But it's just one of those things where you're like, it had to really affect her. And, all I can kind of do is see the stuff that we have out publicly and then internalize it and feel whatever I felt. And
do you think she's going to see this movie? And if she does, how do you think she'd feel about the way that you've represented her?
Oh, man, this is sweet.
Well, I mean, this is also a really weird thing about this movie. It's usually you do biopics and it's about people who are much older than...
Or dead.
Or dead. Or they're working on... I was thinking about, Rocket Man, where it's Elton John worked with Taron Egerton or Egerton. I don't ever know how to say his
That's
last
fine.
name.
You're a big time actress now. You don't need to get
Taron,
that.
whatever.
Joel Edgerton.
Yeah.
But so it's like you're playing a real person where stuff is super current and also played by another actress that people really liked. So there were moments where it was like, okay, I could let that kind of get in my head, or I can just be like, I'm going to do what I'm going to do and, embrace that and hope that everyone embraces me like they do, the two of them. I don't remember what you asked me before this. I kind of just went on a rant.
What do you think about if she you think she's going to see this, and if she does, how do you think she'd feel about you, the way you represent her?
Is it play in England? Is it going to play there?
She doesn't have an English accent.
She doesn't.
Oh, that's right.
Someone asked me
Harry does,
twice
though.
now.
Harry
People
does.
have asked me, so how was it working on the accent? And I was like,
She's American.
I was like, what do you mean?
Yeah.
And I was like, maybe you're talking about how like her inflection, but
No.
honestly, like I didn't. The EPs on set were like, it's so funny because you just sound like her. And I was like, I feel like it's because of the presenter voice. Like I can dip into that when she would do
Your
public
non-regional
speaking
dialect.
kind of stuff. Yeah, exactly. But I, as an actor, I'm like, if I were in her position, I'm going to sit with like a vat of ice cream and watch the movie and probably never tell anyone that I watched it aside from who's in that room with me. And enjoy it and be like, you as an actor, you're like, this is fun. Like, when do you get to see someone play you?
Right.
And what I hope that she would get out of it is that, like, I really hope that it's like what I was saying before, that she was like, I had fun watching it. It was joyful. And, I think it's something, too, where I really love the fact that she is really into women's empowerment and supporting other women and putting that out there and the philanthropy and just, like, the good stuff that her and Harry are putting into the world. So I would hope that she would see it and kind of feel like that was where the focus was and that's where the heart of the movie was.
They're like
for me.
live editing her life at this point.
It's true.
Right?
Yeah, there's so much more.
Any part of it that you think she wouldn't be in favor of?
I mean, it's one of those things where I don't know because all we could do is, we had our awesome writer do her job on it and she's British. And so she kind of drew from all the things that she knows. And I mean, I think it's one of those things where it would probably be hard to see any of the like really emotional stuff portrayed in a movie about you because
And your family.
it is hard. But I really wanted to do it, like I said, when you were asking about how hard it was, just in a really respectful way where it was, I think about the fact that, I definitely do read the things that people tweet to me and write to me. And, I read a couple times that people were like, I don't think Megan would get emotional like that from the trailer. And I was like, I don't know how she would handle things. I don't. But I do know that women can have every layer of emotion and you can be super strong and put together and a go-getter and a badass and still be emotional and have a moment where you cry.
And you don't know what you see off camera.
Yeah.
You don't see. You know how, especially when the camera's on you 24/7, and it's like you've got to be on all the time. The moments that you don't have in front of that camera, you're going to let it loose.
Yeah,
for sure.
And somebody said to me the other day, which I loved, because it's one of those things where you're like, it's weird playing someone that's around now.
Yeah.
And not that, unfortunately, this person was around, but I had a friend say to me, this is like your Selena. Like, remember J-Lo?
Right.
When she did that and, it was, people didn't know who she was in the same way that they do now, obviously. And so I was like, I would love to kind of have that experience where it's, I did get to do so much.
Do you think you could be
emotionally.
royal? Do you think you could do it?
No.
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 Well, I'll tell you what. You become J-Lo, you better keep that phone open because I'll be asking you for a job. I do want to play a clip for you because we had Roka in here asking about this clip. We asked Makuga earlier about this.
I love it.
This morning. I have to get your opinion on this.
It's about your favorite?
But no. I don't want her to even know what it's about.
I
yet.
know what it is.
I don't know what. No, Cody, do you have the clip? I know you have to take a second to look for it.
Yeah, I got it.
Wait,
got
just
it.
so
Where do you
just
put
so I
that?
know, Tiffany, do you have siblings?
I have an older sister.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Here we go. So this is a clip from yesterday's
relevant.
show. Yes.
Okay.
I want you to listen to
I
the
was
show.
like, does it have to do with the video?
No, you're going to hear it. You're
It's
going to hear it.
relevant.
You're going to hear it. Okay.
I'm not watching
Cody,
anything.
Cody, go ahead and play the
No.
clip. She's
That
pretty
big
cute.
booty.
Yeah. No. The actual clip. Today?
He hit on my sister at Dublin's, the one night.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, when I was performing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And DMX was there, too, who also was hitting on my sister.
Do you have a hot sister?
Yeah, she's
pretty
got a big
cute.
booty.
So he said his sister has a big booty. Is that something that would you be offended if you had a brother and your brother
I
was
would be thankful that my brother is not
Tom.
him.
But if he said, but do you think it was wrong for Tom to say his sister has a big booty?
Does she like it? Does she like her butt?
Yeah, she does.
Would she say she has a big booty?
Yes.
Then if she
You
says
don't
it,
know
then
that?
I do know that.
You do not.
I know Robin. I know
if
Robin.
she would say that about herself,
Yeah.
then
Try
I
to stack
mean,
the deck here.
But I also think it's something that like
Tom can get away with.
he just says stuff like that. But also it's like he knows you guys and he knows that she would be okay with that. But I don't know if, like, they're brother and sister. She's dealt with him for her whole life.
That's a good
so,
point. That's
I
a good
mean,
point. If
But
anybody knows,
don't you think it's a little weird to describe if I said, wow, because all these people are hitting on your sister. Is your sister really hot? Don't you think a better response would have been, men seem to like her, as opposed to, yeah, she got a big booty.
Yeah, but
he would never say that. Though. Men seem to like her.
Right, 'cause you-
It's kind of a weird. It's like a weird.
and I
situation
asked her because
to be
if
in.
anyone that knows
Yeah,
Tom Dagnino
exactly.
the best, it's his former
So-
fiance Tiffany Smith.
Well,
He did propose twice.
Lies. He did.
That doesn't mean that she's his former fiance.
Yeah.
We
No,
obviously know Tiffany has a
Almost.
type. It's a ginger. Okay? We've been
Almost,
over this.
almost former fiance.
Yes.
He proposed to her with a Rocky cup.
And she
God.
said,
No.
So not
No?
almost.
And right, and then then she proposed to him with a ring pop.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's like I was thinking about. Do you remember when? God, what's her name? Jessica Simpson's dad said a weird thing like
Oh,
about
yeah.
her boobs like
Yeah,
a long
yeah,
time
yeah.
ago.
Trump does it all the time with his daughter.
Yeah, and it's like you ask somebody who's related to someone, is so and so is your like sibling hot? And it's just weird because
Yeah.
there's no right way to answer it. If they are super attractive, you're like, yeah, other people think they're hot.
So you have a
They're
problem with
hot.
my
There it is.
question. It's the question
It's
you have the
yeah,
issue
because
with.
you kind of
Boom.
Roxy
led
going.
him down a path.
There you go.
of, is
He-
your sister hot?
See, so
I don't think that's a
do
weird
you-
question. I think the response
Oh.
is people think she is.
I don't think it's a weird question. I think that you
I set him up for
you
failure.
set him up.
colored
Yeah.
the question with a hot. Is she hot?
Now the second
Because
thing
then
is,
he's not going to be like, she's beautiful.
should this be? So the
quite lovely.
Yeah, the second question I have for you: should this be Tom's new theme song, Cody?
Show me the booty, give me the booty, I want the booty, back up the booty, I need the booty, I like the booty, oh what a booty, shaking that booty.
Now, did Charlie
No,
play this
because
for you
now
on
it's
set?
about his sister, and that's gross.
It's true. Well said, Tiff. Well said.
All right. Well,
said.
Tiffany
You
is.
knew what you were getting yourself
yeah.
into.
Tiffany is
I
not
did.
not only a Tom Dagnino expert. She is a Star Wars expert. She was a regular on Jedi Council for so long. Hence the Smith Lord. That's where it originated from.
Yep.
And now she is here to talk to us about the big story of the day. Game of Thrones creators Benioff and Weiss. We saw this coming from a mile away. That but they finally announced that
Yeah.
there will be the next movies.
How many? When did they
Three.
say it's 20?
2022, 2024, and 2026. Right? 22, 24, 26.
3 years. Yeah.
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 2
Avatar
years.
Star Wars.
Yeah,
Avatar
yeah,
Star
yeah.
Wars.
So, first off, we're gonna guess that this thing's taking place thousands of years ago, and it's the beginning of the Jedi and the Sith, right? We got to think that.
I mean, what's not Old Republic?
Yeah, it's kind of like Old Republic stuff. That's what
Yeah.
we think.
Yeah.
That's kind of that makes sense.
Yeah, it
and
does.
And it also allows us not to be so locked in of, oh my God, they're gonna ruin it, because there's nothing to ruin. It's brand new stuff.
Well, and I think I don't want to bring up all the drama around Game
Yeah.
of Thrones, but
Oh, is there drama?
no, just like everybody's
Is there
reactions
stuff
to the
going on?
no,
No,
nothing.
I'm just
Oh, I was
kidding,
like
just
nothing new, just
I'm
like
totally
yeah.
kidding.
The
We've been dealing
internet
with
is
it.
a
Yeah.
garbage place sometimes.
Yeah.
No.
Well, everyone has their opinion and,
Right.
has made Game of Thrones their own thing. But I think, like, looking at what they did with Game of Thrones, I'm like, absolutely, they can crush that. And the flip side is that if they're doing it with the story that's already there,
Right.
even better. Because I do think, like, the layers of complexity that has been throughout Game of Thrones until probably like this season-ish, it's been a lot deeper, I think. I think this season feels a little bit more, obviously they have to wrap everything up, but I also
Rushed.
think it's like George R. R. Martin
disagree,
isn't
but-
as well, because it's like there's things where yes, there's payoffs from the beginning, but it's like the intrigue of like suspense of this person's moving this piece behind the scenes and this person's doing this thing, that all was so much in the books, and I feel like it's a little less, and maybe again because they have to wrap things up, I don't know.
Right, in 6 episodes, like
Yeah,
boom, boom, boom.
yeah, but
but
I
they
think if they have like if they're working from Old Republic stuff, then it's like, well, there's a lot already there for them.
That finally answers yesterday's caller who asked if we would rather them have original source material to work with.
Yes.
That we didn't get to answer
didn't really
because
get-
of Tom's booty comment. So you
Stop
don't even
it!
know what
Oh,
you
God.
just did.
No.
And then the other thing is, so Bob Iger had said that there's another
I'm laughing
series.
at my giant water.
Yes. Where does one even purchase? And who even
I
makes
know.
it?
Whole
It's
Foods.
huge. Oh my
Whole Foods does.
God.
And how is
And
it
it's
getting in your
Hydro
mouth
Flask.
without you having to
It's a
tip it?
straw. It's magic,
Yeah,
guys.
she's got that straw thing.
You carry that thing
Maybe
everywhere. I mean, you got to be. You don't.
It's a
you don't-
weapon too, just in case anything bad
Yeah.
happens.
You don't. You don't take that to Endgame because if you take that to
No,
Endgame,
I
you pee
did not
6
take
times.
that to Endgame. I
Yeah.
didn't drink it that day.
You should.
Yeah.
So you just drink one of those a day.
I try to. Like
Is it a
the
gallon?
surprising
What's in
thing.
it?
I think it's 64 ounces.
You better tell this company to start paying your ass for doing this stuff.
I mean, it's so big and bright that it's like, hello.
But you know what else is 64 ounces? A 6-pack of Bud Light.
It's
That
true.
is-
It's true,
Yeah,
but it
6-pack.
wouldn't make me feel as good.
That's true. Or would it?
Or would it?
I mean, in the
Depends.
Six-pack
moment.
good
No.
beers?
Aren't they
I mean,
12
it's-
ounces each?
Yeah, 6 times 12. 64.
I got to tell you something. You are making
That's not-
Isn't it? No,
No.
that's
hold
right.
on, hold on,
72.
hold on. You are making the best faces today.
Really?
I don't know what you're doing, but it's just like you're looking. You're just like it's like this. I can see everything kind of going
The
on in
wheels
there.
turning?
Yeah, but then when you just looked at him right now, and it
Well,
turned like there's so many emotions. There
let
was
me
like a
talk
look
you
at
through it.
disgust.
My math
at
was
one
off.
point.
My
I'm
math
going to
was
talk
off.
you through it.
All right,
My
please.
first one is I think I've said this to you, Tiffany, off camera before, but you're huge. I'm just such a big fan across from Christian. So
And I've moved nowhere.
More of a
Lies. That's a lie.
Same. I'm
I'm-
still on a chair in the back.
I love how open and honest you are. I'm asking questions that like hopefully one day I have to face those things. So I'm taking notes. So that was kind of my faces here, like
Yeah.
With Josh, he's just bad at math, and so
Right.
I'm always thinking
Clearly.
about because we've done that a couple of times where
So it was 6
like
beers.
that. And those were the facial
Right.
expressions.
Roxy couldn't be number one on this timesheet because no one would ever start shooting because she'd never make it on
She'd
time.
never make it.
Not
I am
true.
always
Oh.
on time. I just have to leave super. Have I ever been late for the show?
Yeah.
Yes,
No.
that one day.
One day.
I was not late.
One day?
Oh, no, but she,
I was not late.
Her thing is she comes here.
She
this is
can't
her thing.
figure out how to
She
get
comes
I
here
don't know
every day.
directions.
Yeah, I don't either.
No, not like this.
This is next
Let
level.
me from where
Totally.
if you because you came here today right
Yeah.
from your house, and if I told you you have to make it here tomorrow, but you can't use your phone, could you do it?
Yes.
Right.
But I'd probably have to give myself like an hour.
Yeah, she-
So that's what I have to do.
no.
every
But you
day.
said but you said.
But do you not use your
She uses the
phone?
phone.
Or,
I do, but I don't. I feel in my gut it lies.
so you don't trust it.
It's like Skynet.
So you put the address in, and then you're like, I'm gonna go the other way.
She said she looks and says, "Prove it." Yeah.
So
Yeah, you know.
that's how I feel about that. But I've never been late. Ever.
No, you haven't.
You said one time that's not true.
Maybe it's a lie.
So I would be on time, but I would. And if you have to wake up at 5, I have to wake up at 3 because I'm not getting there.
That's fair.
I mean, the good
It's
thing
honest.
about being on set is they pick you up.
Yeah.
So that can't happen.
That's the
Facts.
truth.
Good.
But I do want to jump back into Star Wars here too, because Bob Iger said that there's going to be a third television series. Now, there were reports and rumors that the Obi-Wan series was going to be the next one, so a lot of people are leaning off, thinking that'll be the case. I still think there's a shot that it maybe instead of the Darth Bane stuff that they're going to do, and maybe they can do it as a TV show. You know, maybe they lean heavily into a Sith-related kind of program, because I think that
like the villain shows.
I just think we've gotten away from, and it's fine, from a lot of the Jedi stuff in Force stuff, which people love, and we haven't done a lot of it because you're not going to have much of it in Mandalorian. You're not going to have much of it in Cassian Andor. So maybe it's Obi-Wan, or maybe it's something completely different. Thoughts, opinions? What do you think?
I want Ahsoka.
A series?
Yeah.
That'd be interesting.
I want to see it, and I want to play her.
Oh, you want to play her? What about Ashley Eckstein? You gonna knock
I
Ashley out of the way?
mean, if it's
Right.
Ashley's doing it, great. She
But-
should totally do it. But
Yeah.
if Ashley is not doing it, then I would.
Was she
like
the voice
to
of
play
Ahsoka?
Yeah, she
was the voice of Ahsoka.
But I feel like that, like if from reading the book, there's so much stuff with the Force in there and how she became who she became in Rebels, and
Right.
that would be really. I think people love her as a character and would want to hear more or see more of that story. And there's so much world you can explore with her because we don't know
Right.
where she went
Riley,
in the book more.
Are you saying a
Megan?
live action version?
Yeah, for TV series. Riley, what do you think the third TV series will be if it indeed happens?
I think it's Obi-Wan.
Think it's Obi-Wan?
Yeah, I really do. There was too much smoke and to not have a fire. We had a movie, maybe, possibly happening.
There
we
was
had
a script.
With who, Riley?
What was the director's name?
So
Stephen Frears.
It was the
I
guy who
believe?
did Billy Elliot.
No, I'm saying as Obi-Wan.
Ewan McGregor.
You want him?
Oh,
in
you
the
have to
series.
be.
Yeah.
You
Are you
can't do
kidding?
this. Yeah, you
Yeah.
can't do the series without Ewan McGregor.
And Ewan McGregor now, he's done
Is it-
television. He's done Fargo.
Fargo,
He's,
right.
he's a great actor. He wants to do this.
Right, and they're getting all the Marvel actors to do it.
Yeah.
Why not get Ewan
Well,
McGregor?
because I think what I'm curious to find out is like, because a lot of them are limited. It's not like, oh, this could go on for forever, right? The ones that they've announced, are they saying it's
Roxy,
kind of like Netflix?
Roxy made this very clear to me back in when we started talking about this, that limited series, I think that a lot of people think that when you say limited series, you think that it might mean it's just 6 episodes or 7 episodes and then that's it. Limited series could mean 3 seasons at 7 episodes.
It's just that it's capped. Like they already know how long it's going to run.
Mandalorian has already been picked up for season 2.
Okay.
And so I forget how many episodes they said the first one was. Does anybody know? I'm not sure.
8 or 10.
8 or 10. But so either way, I think that Obi-Wan would definitely be limited, and I think you could just do it maybe like a mini series.
Yeah, well, because it's like you look at all the Marvel ones that are coming out now, and I was kind of like, I wonder if, because you always hear those actors sign on, and it's like 10 movies that they sign on for from the first one. And I'm like, I wonder if now, because they're doing the TV series stuff, they're like, okay, we'll knock off one of, like, this will count towards one of the movies in your contract. And not in a bad way, but where it's like, we'll do this limited run. It'll be probably around the same amount of time that you might shoot a massive one of the movies, but it's going to be, we're going to break it down into series, like how they shot
That's
House
smart.
of Cards.
Yeah. The other thing that people are not up in arms, but are talking about was that Bob Iger also said there are like 6 movies in development.
Yeah, he said half a dozen Star Wars movies in development currently.
That's the one to me but that's the one to me that people shouldn't think anything of.
Yeah.
Because when I was at Joe Silver's company, there were like 15 movies in development.
Yeah.
Development is just the process of reading the scripts.
Yeah.
Until it's greenlit, that's when, of course, there's stuff in development.
I mean, 45 DC movies in development right now. Like,
Right.
so many.
Yeah, so the in development means nothing. It's the series, though. The series is the one that stands out because the series is like, oh, okay, there's another series that's about to be announced. Sometimes I wonder, though, if Lucasfilm goes, oh, shit, Bob Iger's talking again because now he's coming in, oh, God, now there's all this pressure on us. They're going to be wondering what the series is.
I don't think so. They know exactly what he's going to say. He's not just going to go off the cuff and be like, also, we're doing this and we're doing this.
I don't know. They've from the shareholders. I heard. I mean, there was one time he told the shareholders that I know that Lucasfilm was kind of like, "Oh, I didn't know he was going to make that announcement today."
But I think it's like it's already been talked about. It's not like
oh, they know it.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
maybe they didn't know it was going to release to the public.
Yeah.
Is kind of what I meant.
Yeah.
So
and the in development thing is, I totally agree. It's like everywhere is developing a bajillion things. Like I could submit an idea somewhere, and they're
It's
like,
in
"Well, that
development."
one's in development."
Right.
Which is smart. You should develop many things, and
Yep.
then you should pick the best ones.
Exactly. And it gives you time to work on it. Plus the fact that we know that we're getting these movies 2022, 24, and 26. You have a lot of time to develop.
And it's also good for them to then, because during development, a lot of times it's like different writers come on, or they meet a bunch of different people, and so it's like, okay, well now that means that you may meet a writer or director that might not be right for this project, but they'd be great for this other thing that we're working on.
And the flip side of that, too, is sometimes, and this happened all the time when I was working at Silver, you'd have a script that you think is pretty good, right? But then you bring in somebody who's got to take off of that script that they read but want to go a completely different direction.
Yeah.
Like, shit, I didn't think about that.
Yeah.
Let's do that. And that's what happens. So they're going to be writing a script right now, and like Tiffany said, and somebody comes in 2 years, sits down and goes, well, the 4 scripts that you gave me that are in development, this is the one I like the most, and this is what I would do with that.
Yeah.
Great. Again, we can tell Iger about it. That sounds amazing. Greenlight it. Let's go. That kind of shit happens all the time.
Yeah.
And then there's other ones that just stick in that shelf and don't move.
Or get passed to like different writers
Yeah.
over and over, and it's still like not right.
Or different studios.
Yeah.
Can I ask a question? I want to, from the development standpoint, now that he is confirmed as Benioff and Weiss, 3 movies, are those considered still in development or greenlit?
No, those are in production now.
In production
Those
now.
are in
So
production.
the 6, half a dozen are not including those.
But like Roxy just said, there's 75 movies in development for DC.
Yeah, no, I understand
that's a light number.
I said 45. Then 30
Whatever.
more.
Whatever
Mine
it
was
is.
a made up number too. So.
But whatever it is, it's like there's tons of
12 times
these
6.
big movies, especially like Disney. You know how many
72.
movies Disney has in development? So many movies in development. So
Didn't they come out and say that too? They were there's like a bunch of stuff in development, reboots of Disney stuff. Like
Shrunk.
I just read
Right. Well, that's what they're doing. I mean, when you have all that money, you just let me see your version. Go take Black Cauldron, see what you can do with it, and it's in development right now.
Any thoughts, Christian, on what any of these 6 could be?
I definitely think there's something along the lines of I really think they're going to be exploring more of the Old Republic stuff because, and I've been calling for it for years.
And
but
this is canon.
A lot of Old Republic. Well, there's stuff that's Darth Bane is
But you're talking
definitely
about that
canon.
with the Benioff and Weiss one.
Benioff and Weiss for sure, but I think
But
there could be
with the
some
other 6.
But I think they can explore back then. I think they can explore that particular time period because Kathleen Kennedy had never really addressed Old Republic until recently. And what's the guy? Josh Horowitz, is that the guy named from MTV?
Yeah.
Oh, right, yes.
So he had asked her about the Old Republic, and she said, people have been asking that forever. We get that question all the time, and there's definitely going to be, we're looking to explore that time period. So that to me, okay, that's a little bit more realistic now. I also think inside that same interview, she talked about that eventually you can spin off characters from this new trilogy. People think that there's not going to be any continuation because they said no more episode 10, 11, and 12. That doesn't mean that Finn might not get his own movie
or we
Rey.
might get to see Rey's parents.
Yeah, I mean,
Do you think, Tiffany, in one of these 6, that's something they're developing?
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. I think it's one of those things too, where it's like I would have to see how the last one ends to kind of really have a good opinion. But I feel like that would be something where it's like I would watch that.
I don't know what junk traders do, but yesterday I had to throw away my brother's trampoline, okay?
Yeah.
And I went to a dump to throw it away, and dumps are awesome.
Yeah.
Like, there's so much stuff going on. There was like,
Have you never been to a dump?
Never been to a dump before.
Dump sites
It was
are crazy.
Crazy.
Yeah.
So a junk trader show on a dump?
It's
Come
like
on.
Captain EO.
Yeah.
Yes!
So the answer to that question is there's tons of stuff that they can do. And I think that this is going to be actually a great thing for Star Wars to move away from the saga because I think there's just too many expectations on this saga now that's all tied in from the original trilogy of the prequels to this new one. I think that with brand new characters and brand new stuff inside of the lore, it really takes expectations off of what the fans want and it allows you to explore in a new realm. And I think that that's what they will do and that's what they should do.
Well, there's less. Oh, sorry, go.
No, I just hope I want to stay away from like the original trilogy stuff.
Yeah,
You know what I
that's
mean?
what I'm saying,
Like go really far back or even go right after Return of the Jedi because we don't know that 30-year
Well, but I think
gap.
that's why they're going to do it with The Mandalorian. And that's
That's what I'm excited about.
Yeah.
But I hope we don't get like a bunch of like the 6 movies are like we have a Yoda movie in development.
Yeah.
We have this movie in development about the building of the second Death Star. You know what I
right.
mean? It's like I hope
I think they're
it's
gun shy now.
Death
because
Star
it-
2.
Yeah, I think
Rogue-
because
Rogue 2.
I think Solo.
God.
I think Solo did did some things. I think that Yoda movie's not going to happen because of Solo, and it's why I believe that Obi-Wan the movie got nixed because of Solo, which I think was actually a bad move. I think they still would have done. I think
It
that
might
Obi-Wan.
still be. You never know. That still could be happening. That could be one of the ones they're
Yeah,
talking
I
about
think it's
in
gonna be
development.
serious. I think
Attack
it's
of the
gonna be
Clones is
serious.
basically an Obi-Wan movie.
Mm.
It's Anakin in a field talking about his feelings, and it's Obi-Wan actually doing Jedi work.
Well,
Yes.
the thing, well, the
Well,
prequel,
yeah.
that's what he's doing in the movie. But that was one of the biggest problems with the prequels.
Maybe not.
Is that
I didn't think there's a crazy statement.
well, but the prequels didn't have a protagonist. There was no protagonist in the entire thing.
I mean,
Whose
I
story
think
was
it's
it?
one of
Star
those
Wars
things where it's
fans
like.
there.
Oh, here we go.
We were such
Well, but that's
douchey
why
Star
I
Wars
think it's
fans.
like if they do characters that people don't know, there's less of that.
That's
where
right,
it's
that's my point.
Like,
Yeah.
why? I don't know if you guys have been watching Doom Patrol,
Yeah,
but
it's
No.
the best show. It is
so
the best show out there.
good.
Right now.
It is so
hands
good.
hands down, the best show out there right
It's
now.
so good, and it's because
Are
I
you
think
guys
it's,
watching Billions?
Yes, and I love Billions. Doom Patrol is unbelievable.
It's and the acting. Like if I watch it to watch Diane Guerrero because she plays Crazy Jane and she's basically multiple personalities.
I'm obsessed with April Balby. Are
She-
you kidding me? I think
yeah.
she's the next big star.
Is this
Like,
one of those DCL Access shows?
It's on DC Universe.
DC Universe,
But
yeah.
but what
Yes,
I
to
was
what you're
bringing up was
thinking.
that it's characters that people don't necessarily like. People who love Doom Patrol know these characters, but
Right.
it's not kind of a mainstream character world, so you can be weirder and different and quirky, and the characters are already weird and different to begin with.
Because it's the first time you're learning about them. And that's why, to this day, people love the OT so much, the original trilogy, because it was the first time you ever learned them.
I don't know why just you saying the OT sounded so funny.
The Y,
funny.
the OA.
But it is.
The OT.
But
OC.
that's why there's all these standards, because that's the first time we ever learned about them. There was nothing to compare it to. There was none of this stuff. And I think, a lot of people said it too. Can you imagine, though, what Return of the Jedi would have gotten if Twitter was around today?
Oh my
With the
god!
Ewoks?
I don't.
Yeah.
And anything people like, it's I have a hard time relationship with social media just because it's like I know people. It's there so we can talk to each other and voice our opinions and connect and whatever. But I also feel like no one sets out to make anything bad, and so as soon as we start commenting on it, I'm like, maybe I'm just ever the optimist, but I'm like, there's something good, and you can find something positive in almost anything.
Yeah. But she should have lit the city on fire, right? I mean, she had every right to light that city on fire.
All right, you know what I want to do is I want to get some phone calls and Riley, if we can get the Facebook group some questions there. Got Tiffany in studio, so if you want to ask any questions to Tiffany, call in please, or anything else in general you want us to talk about, call in, throw in the hashtag Collider Live. And one last reminder, guys, is that we are going to be in Houston on Saturday for the Schmodown Live, the Booker T Arena.
Can I come?
No. And you can get tickets at theschmodownlive.com. You can also watch the live stream of that. I think 7 o'clock is when we start, 7 p.m. So you can make sure you check that out. And also on ESPN, Andrew Guy and Ben Bateman will be on Booker T's radio show tonight, the Hall of Fame, promoting that show. So you can check that out also. All right. Cody, got anybody?
Not right now, Derek.
Okay, fine. Riley?
No, I don't have anything. There's just a lot of happy comments for Tiff back, but there's no questions
Nothing
set
on
up
Twitter?
in the Facebook.
What about Twitter? Hashtag
Well,
Collider
now let
Live.
me look at Twitter.
Better Princess Megan.
There was
Princess
a few
Leia.
people in the chat, though, that were very excited that Roxy and Tiffany started talking about Doom Patrol.
Oh, yeah.
That got them
The
really
show
excited.
is ridiculous.
Doesn't Matt Serra love that show, too?
Yeah.
He does,
And
right?
so good.
I can't describe
What is this
how
show?
many times I've cried
Correct.
over a robot man.
Wait, what
and I'm weeping.
All right, pitch me Doom Patrol.
Go
What is
ahead.
this?
Because it's been pitched to me before, and I was
It's
like,
I feel like it's actually not easy to pitch.
No, it's not.
Good. That's a good
Motley
sign.
Crew
It's
of
ragtag
anti-heroes.
So
group
Suicide
of
Squad,
people.
basically.
Can one person talk to idiotsness here?
A ragtag group of people who get put together not as a team of heroes or anything, just
Right.
because there is someone who kind of says he can help them with what's wrong with them.
So it's
So
kind
they-
of similar to
Umbrella
Suicide
Academy?
Squad? a
They
little bit?
each because they each
No.
have
Because they're not bad guys.
they each have an issue, an ailment that would probably kill them if somebody didn't step in and help, and then they are brought together based off of.
It's like the D-listers of X-Men getting
Oh,
to
okay.
where you're like, if Professor Xavier brought people together that was like, your powers are kind of
The kids in the school in
weird.
X-Men 2 that we didn't really see a lot of.
Yeah.
But it's
But
also
they need
Cyborg.
help.
Oh, Cyborg.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
But it's also
Cyborg's the
Cyborg.
only one that's
Oh,
like, I
interesting.
mean,
But it's well directed. It's
It's-
acted well. It's good. You like it.
Brendan Fraser as Robot Man is
Okay.
amazing. Like I said, Diane Guerrero, which I really
Is it Diane or Denai? The girl from
No,
Denai is from Fear the Walking Dead. Diane, she was on Orange is the New Black and Jane the Virgin.
Got it.
But it's like the level of Orphan Black, but
Oh,
also even more characters than that, because every episode you don't know how many personalities she really has. And so every
Like
episode,
split.
it's
So
it's like
there's
she
64 that she knows of.
Yeah.
Okay,
which
so
is
this is, and you can only watch this on DC streaming. Is that what
DC
this is?
Universe, yeah.
Okay, well,
It's so
all
good.
right, that's
and
very
because
cool.
I think along the lines of characters people don't have so much knowledge of, but also because of the platform it's on, I think they can play a lot more. Like Alan Tudyk plays
Android.
Mr. Nobody.
Okay.
Or no, what is it? Nobody, Mr. Nobody.
Yeah.
I was like, I think that's it.
Yeah.
And the fact that some of the jokes that he can make because of where they are, where
Right.
it's like they don't have to deal with network stuff and very meta
It's a
kind
good
of stuff.
cast.
It's awesome.
Matt
All right.
Bomer's in it too.
Yeah.
Oh, is he?
Yeah.
Matt Bomer. Is he?
Yeah.
It's a good cast.
What's the guy's name
in
who was he was Penny Dreadful He's
Josh Hartnett.
No, the older guy.
Jeremy
No. He was.
I can't think
he
of what
was.
his name is.
Sean Astin.
He was James
Brendan
Bond.
Gleeson.
Timothy Dalton.
Yes.
Timothy Dalton.
Timothy
Yeah.
Dalton is in it.
That's Cody trying to get my attention.
I know
All
from Penny Dreadful too.
Hey, you are on Collider Live. Who do we got?
Hi, my name is Lauren. I'm in St. Louis.
Hi, Lauren.
Lauren.
Lauren, what do you got for us today?
Hi. I wanted to say something to Roxy first, if that's okay.
Absolutely, Lauren. Hi, girl.
Hi. So I just noticed that a lot of people call in and say, like, at first they hated you and then they like you, just kind of like slapping you in the face and then apologizing for it. So I just wanted to call in and say, I like you from the beginning. You're the reason I started watching the show.
Thanks, Lauren.
And you're the reason I continue to watch it.
Oh,
Lauren, I really appreciate
thanks,
that.
I guess.
Thanks for nothing, Lauren.
You go, girl. Hey, I don't care what
Guys,
they
let her
say.
get-
You're
let
my
her get the
favorite,
compliment.
Lauren. That's awesome.
All right, so this is the less important Christian Harloff here, Lauren. What else? What else do you have for us today?
Yeah, so just like a general question. We're kind of in the start of the summer season, so what movies are you guys looking forward to coming up this summer?
Fantastic.
Best caller we've ever had, Lauren.
Of course she is. I mean, I think Lion King to me is the one I'm getting pretty pumped for. I don't know about Aladdin yet. Aladdin's got to win me over. But I'm on board. And John Wick doesn't count because I just saw it.
Yeah, I was gonna say John Wick because I just cannot wait to see it.
Did you see it yet?
I haven't seen it yet, and I just saw the freaking clips of Halle Berry like doing the gun training. Like,
She's awesome.
And the fact that Keanu was there, like with her doing it, made me even more excited.
She
about
was
it.
my biggest concern going into the movie.
Oh, I'm sure she crushed it.
She crushed it.
Yeah.
She was so good in it.
She's
she was
the
so
best.
good.
What about Spidey?
Spidey? Spidey, absolutely. And more so because of the trailer that came out and the fact that it connects so heavily into Endgame.
Yeah,
now.
it'll be interesting. Like I'm excited
Good
for
call.
that one. More out of like interesting. I wonder how they're gonna handle it.
What else are we
It
excited
Chapter
about?
2?
That's not summer. That's October.
Although I do think about going to see scary movies with Josh because we both he's more extreme than I am.
Okay, what did we see together? What movie did we sit next to each
Was
other?
it one of the Insidious?
No,
Yeah,
I've never
There was a
seen
movie I was with you.
It was the M Night Shyamalan movie. Didn't we see that together?
Which
And we
one?
sat
The Visit?
front with,
The Visit?
with, The Visit.
Oh.
No.
The one that Tiffany almost tore my arm off.
Yeah.
with sitting next to her was the was the what's the one with Brad Pitt? The Apocalypse.
Oh, World War Z.
My arms were cut.
Why are you scared of cat?
I'm yeah.
Not
I
worse.
don't
Not
love
worse than
scary.
I still have nail marks in my hand where she held me, and I think it was World War Z.
I'm gonna
We
look up
saw a
summer
scary
movies.
movie
Yeah.
together, and Clark Wolf was sitting behind us and made fun of us because you and I were both like, yeah.
Not as
It
bad.
wasn't Insidious, but it was like one of those ones. Was it Annabelle? Was there a doll? Was there something?
Oh,
Maybe.
Toy Story 4.
Oh, that's a
It
good
was-
one too.
wasn't
It
Toy
was
Story
Toy
4.
Story 4.
Roxy's trying to move the conversation. I'm with her. Toy Story 4.
Godzilla, King of the
Godzilla.
Monsters.
Godzilla.
Men in Black.
Oh,
I
I'm so
cannot
excited
wait.
for Men in Black.
I'm more excited for Godzilla than I ever was.
Yes.
Because I'm hearing great things about it now.
Yeah.
It's really, I mean, like I didn't, from a couple people who have seen it, they had the same exact problem that I did with the last
first one, yeah.
And
I
it
don't
was
know
just like
Godzilla.
Godzilla's in it for like 10
Yeah.
seconds. He said, not this one. This
Yeah.
one, he is front and center and
Yeah.
kicking ass. And I was like, that's all I want from a Godzilla
Yeah.
movie. So I'm ready.
If you happen to get interviewed by Rebecca Ford for this movie promo
Yes.
tour you're doing,
Roxy
could
and I
you
saw it the other
mention?
day.
Can
Yeah.
you mention me and or Collider Live and be like, you should really go on their show?
Yes.
I'm really.
Okay.
Please.
Yeah.
I'm
Please.
very excited
Please.
for Brightburn, which is coming up really soon.
Yeah,
also,
yeah.
we've
James
watched the
Gunn.
trailers
James
a
Gunn
lot.
produced,
Yeah.
James Gunn and
Produced it, yeah.
Dave Yarvo, who was on Movie
Movie
Threesome with
Threesome,
her.
that's funny,
Phoenix.
yeah.
It will be interesting to check out.
Yep.
Because who knows with that one?
I think that's going to be good, that movie. Dark
Which one?
Phoenix.
You guys
Dark
are
Phoenix.
forgetting the biggest event of the summer. Probably end of summer, we're going to see our first trailer for Bad Boys 3.
There you go.
You guys just skipped over
okay.
Men in Black, and I'm so excited.
We
for
talked
it.
about it a while. I'm all right.
Ooh, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Cody's screaming at us. Okay, last phone call of the day. Hey, you're on
Hobbs and
Collider
Shaw.
Live. Who do we have?
You know, the three women that got away from me in my life. Imogen Coca,
No.
Deborah Van Bockenberg from Too Close for Comfort,
Right.
and the girl that's sitting right there, Tiffany Smith.
So Tiffany Smith reunited with her long
this
lost
is
love,
Bob
Tom
Finstock.
Dagnino here. Anything you want to say to the new princess?
Princess.
Yeah, I got DVR'd. What's it, King and I, right?
No, it's not the King and I. It's called
The
called
Prince of
becoming
Harry
royal.
and Meghan becoming royal.
Yes, Harry and Meghan becoming royal, and that airs on.
You know, I went to a couple of Met games with Meghan Markle. You know,
That's actually
and
a true
she
story.
was wasted drunk.
Well, I don't know
And
about that.
then you know, she's like, you know what? You're so handsome. You should be an actor. And guess what? I got fired by my manager the next day.
Oh, there you go. Is that a true story? How much of that story is true?
Like 85% of it.
Okay, no, that's good.
Maybe like
know that
5%.
I know the story. I know that you were at a baseball game with her, but I don't think you ever had a conversation.
Here's the parts that I don't think are true. I don't think she was hammered. I don't think she told you were so good looking that you should be an actor.
Right.
So none of it.
Oh, really?
I bet you were at the game together.
Really,
Roxy?
So you're the one with the big booty problem. Tiffany, thank you for sticking up for me.
I
That was
do.
ridiculous.
I
with
didn't
you,
really
Tom.
stick up for you. I didn't.
Can Tom hear that song?
No, he can't.
Tom, we got the song, dude.
Listen, I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
Okay.
Hey, you know what? I blew my chance at, you know, Tiffany said yes to Little Bobby and the Juice a while ago, but now I'll have no shot at getting her on.
Yeah,
There's
no,
no
she's
way.
too big for you.
Never said yes.
And to be completely honest, we're too big for you. Now we're going to hang up the phone. So
Love you,
listen, the Harry and Meghan
Bye,
becoming
Tom.
royal. It is going to. And give me the air date again. May?
So it's May 27th on Memorial Day,
Yes.
on Lifetime, and I'm not sure everywhere else where it will be, but all next week, like I said, I'm going to be doing a bunch of press, so I'll be like posting on social media. Like,
Are we your first?
Huh?
Are we your first interview? No. Oh damn.
Oh, I
She
saw
did
that
some photos yesterday.
I
Yeah.
saw you posted a picture in like the most gorgeous jacket. That was a first look kind of picture on your.
oh, from set?
Yeah.
The clothes must have been ridiculous.
Did you get to keep any of that?
Well, because the thing that happens is, I mean, I'm waiting to find out because now that the picture's locked, like you have to kind of wait until everything's done just in case they have to shoot other things.
right.
And then some of the stuff is like, I think is going to Lifetime to keep for, you know, nostalgia. Like the dresses, the wedding dresses, I think going to them, which was crazy because I told my dad, I was like, lucky for you, Dad, may never want to have to get married or get a dress because I literally had to get fit for a like custom wedding dress.
Oh wow.
But so some of the stuff is going to Lifetime to keep. So
Does it make
very
you
cool.
want to get married? This movie?
no.
I want to keep on that. Thank you. And with that, Collider Live comes to an end here on Wednesday. Tiffany Smith joining us. What a return it was.
Also, I just wanted to say thank you to all the fans because you guys have been so awesome and supportive through all of the changes, career, awesome, fun highs, and it's been really, really wonderful. And I love you guys.
Well, it's good to
Thank
have you, and you've been gone too long. You got to come back sooner than this. And make sure that you check out those tickets, theschmodownlive.com, for this Saturday. Tomorrow, we will be back. Any guests tomorrow, Riley?
Yeah, we have Matt Serra calling in.
Matt Serra, former UFC welterweight champion of the world, is going to be calling in to talk about Endgame and a few other things. And then Friday is the one-on-one interview with myself and Roxy Stryer.
Remember that recorder story?
I'm sure you're going to remember it. So we will talk about that and a lot of other things on Friday while we are gone. So thank you. Make sure you subscribe to this very channel. Oh, subscribe to the Collider Live channel. Monday, that's where the show's going to be. Collider Live. We have our own channel. So make sure you subscribe there, download us on audio, and do the whole thing. We'll see you tomorrow.